Hello and welcome to NextGen Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Good evening racing fans and welcome to NextGen Racing, live on YouTube and live on Facebook. Join us for Thursday night racing with the GT3s for the GT3 Season 8. A big shout out to our partners, sponsors and affiliates before we get underway today, and they go out to PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, Falconer PC and Double Motorcycles. As we mentioned, this is the GT3s and it is the 8th season we are running this. We have alternated from GT3s to other categories such as prototypes in the past, but we have had GT3s entirely for the best part of 3 seasons now, and we are 4 rounds into our current championship on Thursday nights here at NextGen Racing. If you wish to get involved in this racing, if you watch it tonight and you like what you see, you can scan the QR code just to the offset of our screen here, and that will give you access to NextGen Racing's Discord server. Or if the QR code doesn't work for you, or you cannot scan the code for whatever reason, you can go into the description of this video on YouTube or Facebook and there will be a link to our Discord server there. From there you'll meet the admins, meet the other drivers and be able to stay in touch with all the communications that go on at NextGen Racing. Okay, so the various formats that we race in this championship include sprint races, feature races and endurance races. Last time out at Spa-Francorchamps we had the first of 3 endurance rounds of the championship, which was a singular 2-hour endurance, but today we are back to the sprint and feature race formats. We will have a 20-minute qualifying session to introduce the racing on the hour in just under 13 minutes from now. That'll be a 20-minute session to set the grid overall for the sprint race, which will be a 20-minute race. But then the exciting stuff comes along even more in the feature race later on in the night, and that will be a 60-minute race where you can expect pit stops, you can expect strategies, you can expect plenty of racing for that hour-long session. And this is a fixed setup series as well, so all the drivers are stuck with the setup they get on the cars. They cannot change tyre pressures, they cannot change wing angles, damper settings, ride height, nothing like that. The car they're given is the car they must drive. It's an all-equal series in that sense. And there is also a live race director as well, so if there is too much of a wreckage on the track and there's debris all over the track, and the track needs to be cleared by marshals or anything like that, we will throw a full course caution to slow the drivers down to allow the track to become safe, ready to resume racing as soon as possible. And it really does bunch up the field, and it also creates interesting strategies as well in that. But here, these are the tracks we are racing this season. We started off all them weeks ago now, nearly a month ago now, at the Fuji International Circuit in Japan. Then round 2 of the championship was the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, Austria. And you may notice there are 3 rounds here with blue text. They are to signal the 3 endurance rounds in this championship, and last week was the first of 3 of them. That was hosted at Spa-Francorchamps. This week, today though, we're at the Imola circuit in East Italy, and a track that I absolutely love. It is in the metropolitan city of Bologna, the Emilia-Romagna region. Of course, everyone's familiar with that if you're a Formula 1 fan, being the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix that it's hosted for many years and actually has come to an end in that venture, which is quite a shame. But that region of Italy near the east coast, we're about 34 kilometres southeast of Bologna and about 70 kilometres northwest of San Marino, of the province in Italy, which of course this track back in the day was named the San Marino Grand Prix, host that was, and we're in very near San Marino, so it seems very apt to call it that. And this track was built in 1953, so it's quite an old legacy track. It also holds some very, very sad memories for a lot of race fans. Of course, it was the probably the worst weekend in motorsport that Roland Ratzenberger and Ayrton Senna lost their lives here in 1994 in the San Marino Grand Prix of that year, of course. But the circuit is still nonetheless a favourite among drivers. It's much safer nowadays and is much more of a driver's driver track. And of course, next week we are heading off to Thruxton for round 5 of the championship. Not traditionally a GT3 track, but I'm actually looking forward to this because it's not traditionally a GT3 track. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be some very close, fast racing at that Thruxton circuit. So let's see what happens in a week from today after the 8th round at Imola. And that will see us out of the first half of the season after next week at Thruxton. But when we resume for the second half of the season, it will be back into an endurance round. And that will be hosted at the Daytona Road Course in Florida, round 6 of the championship. A 2-hour endurance at the Daytona Road Course. Round 7 will be hosted at Laguna Seca over on the other side of the states, in the California state, for round 7 of the championship. And then we're back in Britain for the second visit of the season. And this one will be to Brands Hatch Grand Prix Circuit in Kent. And then we're in the Eifel region of Germany for the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit for round 9 and the final round of our sprint and feature race formats. But the final round of the championship will end at Sebring International for a 2-hour endurance to end the season in the Florida States. And these are the cars we are racing. It's all GT3 machinery. And of course there is a new car introduced to iRacing just over a week ago that now features in this championship. And the cars that can be raced include the Acura NSX, the aforementioned new car, the Aston Martin Vantage GT3. The Audi R8 LMS Evo also features in the championship along with the BMW M4, the Chevrolet Corvette Z06, the Ferrari 296, the Ford Mustang, the Lamborghini Huracan, the McLaren 720S, the Mercedes AMG and the Porsche 911. And referring back to the Aston Martin, drivers can choose this car if they wish to, but if they decide to switch to this car, because we are part way through the season, they will incur a 50-point penalty, which is quite a hefty hit. It is a point amount equivalent to the maximum amount, well, near maximum amount you can score from an endurance round, and it is more points than you can possibly score in the sprint and feature race formats. So it does effectively take a round of the championship off you if you decide to switch over to the Aston Martin. But it's a new car, it's exciting, it sounds great, it looks great, and there's lots of drivers driving it, so it is very exciting indeed and great to see it out there. We'll see it in action tonight like we did last week. And here we go, live pictures here at Imola. Fantastic circuit in its own right. We've mentioned a bit of its history already. It is a 3-mile circuit, 4.9 kilometres. And has always hosted a round of the well, not always, but it's hosted a round of the Formula 1 Championship for a very long time, on and off. And it's also hosted WEC from time to time as well, along with many other prestigious motorsport series like the World Touring Car Championship, the Intercontinental LMS, the MotoGP, and World Superbikes. So it is a very, very famous track, and we're racing it tonight for the first time since, I believe it is, season 5 was the last time we raced it, and that was when we were racing with the prototypes and GT3s. So expect some different racing to the last time we raced here, that's for sure. So let's check in on our practice session before we go into the point situation as we head into this 4th round of the championship. We have got, well, slight surprises actually in practice right now. But before we come to those surprises, at the top of the table in the gold standings is Benji McCluskey. Now, quite a notable thing to take note of, I suppose, is that. And Benji McCluskey didn't have a good round last time at Spa-Francorchamps, but it seemed like to me, from my history of watching this championship, the first time I've ever seen Ben McCluskey have a bad round, and that was purely down to luck as well. Internet disconnection, similar to that of last season in round 10 that he suffered, but he's back this week, seems to be with a vengeance, top of the standings at the moment in practice. We'll go over to the bronze category next, as because Stijn Vaten's really, really superb time there. He is on a 1:41 lap time, which is quicker than the silver category times. So Stijn Vaten and John Berry actually enjoying this track right now. So they're right in the thick of it. And in the silver category, it's Stephen Fry in the BMW there on a 1:42.0. Quickest of the silver category at the moment, but not too far behind in second place is the championship leader of silver category. Took back the championship lead last time out at Spa-Francorchamps with what I would call an alternate strategy. He actually opted to pit early, and it was due to damage, I believe. And it ended up paying off. He was super quick in the final phase of the race and managed to gain places to get up to second position and score many points, and therefore taking the lead of the championship did Vincent Squibb. And as I say that, a new leader in the silver category. And actually, I was going to mention this person not too shortly as they take an excursion into the gravel there. Jeffrey Kruger is back into the silver category, so was promoted to gold category by virtue of the winning the championship in silvers last season, but has been brought back down to the silver category. Now, the admins have the right to do this at any point during the season in actual fact, but there are some drivers that have changed categories, not at their own request, but by the admins doing. Jeffrey Kruger is one of them. He's back into the silver category. The defending champion will have the opportunity to defend his championship this season, which is really interesting indeed. So we'll see how he gets on tonight in his return to the silver category. But let's go back to the points table, or tables, as we should say, as we head into this fourth round of the championship. We'll start with the gold category. Dominik Pester takes a commanding lead in the championship as we head into tonight. The Sorrento Motorsports driver finished second last time out at Spa-Francorchamps in the endurance round, but is rewarded with a healthy lead in the championship due to Benji McCluskey's what you could consider a bad round due to his internet disconnection. He drops a lot of points, but there are drop rounds yet to be implemented in this championship, and I believe they might be after round 5 next time out. So we'll get a much bigger picture, a much more accurate picture of the championship when we get to that point. But Stephan Wessels in second position. Fantastic round at Spa. Led from pretty much start to finish. And maximum points for him. Gets his championship back on track. And when the drop rounds get implemented, he will be in the mix. Jack Pittas, Mr. Consistent as I've been calling him very recently, is in third place in the championship. Another good round at Spa-Francorchamps rewards him with third position in the championship heading into tonight. Ben McCluskey, as we mentioned, in fourth place, will be looking for a return to form and a return to the top tonight. Brandon Schmidt missed the second round, but back last week with a nice, healthy third place in that race to get him fifth in the championship heading into tonight. Harry Langford was performing very well last time out at Spa, but I believe there was a spin which cost him a rear wing and a trip back to the pits and losing a lot of positions, but it's sixth place for Harry Langford heading into tonight. Gaz Williams, the host of the series, is seventh position, followed by Lucas Seedor, Jamie Dory and Adam Wilson-Weir, who is last season's bronze category champion, is into the top 10 of the gold category right now. Silver category now, and Brandon Vincent Squibb, as we mentioned, leads the championship by 14 points heading into tonight. So a very good round last time out at Spa-Francorchamps over his championship rival Alain McKane, who did not have a good round last time out, drops to second and only 4 points ahead of his teammate Nigel Stock, who had a third place, his best result of the season last time at Spa, so is rewarded with third in the championship too. Jason Raff, fourth position in the championship, has had a win this season, sprint race in the Red Bull Ring round, and last time was fourth out in Spa, so is fourth in the championship heading into tonight. Stephen Fry, who is one of the fastest cars out there in the silver category right now, is fifth in the championship heading into tonight. Fairly new to the GT3 category, as I've found out recently, so is doing very well considering that. Matthew Addy in sixth position, followed by Andy White, who won the endurance round last time out at Spa-Francorchamps, but does have a 50-point penalty for the switch of cars to the Aston Martin. It did work on one part, but it didn't on another. But Andy White, look out for him later on in the season with a really good win last time out at Spa. Phil McDougall is in 8th position, followed by Wesley Lewin and Wojciech Kurp, rounding off the top 10. Bronze category next, and Oliver Forsström is leading the championship by a huge amount. 22 points heading into this fourth round of the championship. Won the Spa Endurance last time out and the bonus points to go with it, and has a commanding lead over Matthias Smolny, who I do believe these points haven't taken into account the category changes yet. Matthias Smolny has actually moved up to silver category to my awareness. So in actual fact, it will be Samy Ariba in second position, with Zara McGuinness in third position, who had a very good Spa-Francorchamps round, finishing second in that endurance. Stein Vatens, who is top of the bronze category in practice right now, is fourth in the championship heading into tonight, with Rob Savage behind in fifth. Sixth position is Jochen Seeger, with seventh position Stephen de Gravelia, eighth position is Elwin Sykes, and ninth is Davide Favo. Teams Championship now as we head into qualifying in the next minute. It's Quatermass Motorsport at the top. Now Oliver Forsström has been putting in the points shift for the team, has rewarded them with top of the championship heading into tonight. It has been swapping and changing every single round this season, has this Teams Championship. And Quatermass, their good round last time out with Oliver Forsström and Jack Pittas scoring the points for them. It's first place for them. Mission R, powered by Maud, are back up towards the top end of the field. They were, I think, 5th heading into the last round. Samy Ariba, George Stone and Matthias Smolny puts them up into 2nd place. Sorrento Motorsports, Kyle Griffiths, Dominik Pester and Lucas Seedor scoring the points for them. 3rd place for them heading into tonight with only 2 drivers in the team, but Nigel Stock and Alain McKane for the Crest Autosport team. 4th place for them. Mission R, Jonathan Berry, Stein Vatens and Brandon Vincent Squibb, 5th position. As we head into tonight, it's very close in the Teams Championship, as you can tell there. And it's not going to stop getting exciting in the Teams Championship anytime soon. But now we head into the qualifying session. A very significant session in this championship, actually, is because the qualifying results decides the overall grid for the sprint races. It is not a qualifying session that splits the categories up into their grouped categories. It does not do that. The overall grid, or the overall qualifying results, is the overall grid. So the further ahead of your rivals in your category you can get, the better off you're going to be and safer you're going to be in that position in the race, because you've got other drivers in other categories between you and your rivals. That's what I always say about these races, about these sprint races. And here at Imola, that's even more significant because this is a notoriously difficult track to overtake on. As I'm sure we'll see in the sprint races, and whenever you do get a pretty daring overtake here at Imola, it's normally spectacular in that it leads to a great overtake or it leads to a crash. And we're looking at William Guthrie here in a full tilt racing car, the Mustang. He returns to the series. The last time we saw him would be around about this track a few seasons ago in Season 5. He was racing in the prototypes back then. He was leading the championship for a period in that Season 5, and I think he is a former champion at the NextGen GT3 Championship. Bear with me while I find that, but it's good to see him back in the series. It's been a long time coming, and Full Tilt have got another driver back in their ranks, which is fantastic to see. And a spin from one of the Quatermass cars we can see just in front of us there. That is Harry Langford. So a spin at Spa-Francorchamps haunts him again tonight, it seems. But if there's a lap you're going to do that, it's going to be this lap, the opening lap of the qualifying session. So we're going to try and find our championship leader in the gold category. I've got so many names on the list that it's very difficult to pick out any one name that you're trying to find. And there we go, we have found it. It's Dominik Pester. I'm not sure if he's on an out lap or a flying lap, but we'll do another one with him very, very shortly. Dominik Pester, our championship leader, heading into tonight. Got a big opportunity to extend that lead. Now drop rounds are going to affect things later on down the line, but for now he's got a healthy lead and he'll take it, and he might as well run with it. But he has been super consistent and super strong in every round this season. And I cannot quite find the stats actually, and I wanted to find out when Guthrie had actually won championship in the past. Oh, I might have actually found it. There we go. So, former championships in the GT3 Championship. We'll get to it. Right, there we go. So, William Guthrie has not actually won a championship in the past in this championship, so I stand corrected. But for, previous champions are Stephan Wessels, of course, Ben McCluskey, Kieran Smart, Gavin Gardner, Tom Dadswell, Gaz Williams, Matt Corona and Billy Fletcher. Now, late, but let's do an onboard lap with our championship leader. Into the Variante Villeneuve we go, a left and a right chicane. Very dark here at Imola. I hope we're not expecting rain, or do I hope, as we head into Tosa. long hairpin that just seems to go on forever, and you've got to delicately put the throttle down out of the corner, over the hill, the turn 8. It's important that you get a good exit from Tozer, as the Piratella is next downhill left-hander. You've got to be careful not to go off too far to the right, as that will invalidate your lap if you go too far over. Acqua Minerale, one of the most satisfying corners in sim racing when you get it right. Does Pester get it right? I think he does. Now we head up the hill towards the newly named Grassini chicane. And these have steep curves. Just look at them on the right now. And then on the left. Look how much the car jumps up and down over those curves. It is one of the more difficult corners in sim racing, I would say, the Grassini chicane. Down the hill we go towards the Ravazza. The final 2 corners on the circuit. And actually, there's a 21 corner circuit officially. Although I would say the more notable corners, there's a few less of them. Now let's see how Dominik Pester gets on with that lap. It was his first flying lap. He'll come across the line very shortly. And that will be now Dominik Pester. I think that's an invalid lap. Yes, it is an invalid lap in actual fact, and it is quite easy to do that here at Imola. It's easy to do that coming out of the Ravazza. It's easy to do that going through Grassini. It's easy to do that heading out of Acqua Minerale and Piratella. So easy to go over the track limits here. Now let's switch over to Benji McCluskey. He was on fire in practice, as we saw, and it's even better here. 1 second clear of all his rivals at the moment. Tyres still warming up out there as Gaz Williams goes to second, but still 3/4 of a second behind his teammate Benji McCluskey. Jack Pittas, Mr. Consistent, into 4th place he goes, and Gabriel Rupp goes into 3rd position, with William Guthrie just setting a new time, heading up to 2nd position. In the silver category, however, it's a welcome back to Matthew Cheverton, who was in France last time. He missed Belgium, decided to go to France instead. Wrong country, mate. But welcome back, Matthew, anyways. 2nd place in this session at the moment. And Brandon Vincent Squibb looking quick out there. The Mustang, indeed, is actually looking very, very quick tonight. Seems to be a car that might be suited to this track. It's a little bit early to tell that from my opinion, actually. But it seems that way right now, looking at qualifying and looking at the practice results earlier. Andy White, last time out, he was the winner at Spa-Francorchamps, and 3rd place right now in qualifying. Good start to the session for him. Steph Wessels, defending champion, winner of last time out at Spa, 3rd place right now in the Ferrari. Whereas if we head over to silver category, we will get to bronze category very shortly. But Jeffrey Kruger on his return to silver category, straight to the top of the standings. Now him and Matthew Cheverton had an intense season-long battle in silver championship. And it might resume here with Jeffrey Kruger hitting the marks right from the word go in qualifying here. Now, the bronze category. Jonathan Berry seems to be on a quick lap here. That was a little bit wide heading out of the Ravazza. We'll see if it's valid, but very good 2nd and 3rd sector. There are 5 sectors on iRacing here at Imola. Across the line goes the current pole sitter, Jonathan Berry, and does go even quicker in that 5th sector, but that was actually an invalid time. So it might have been at the Ravazza that happened. So there'll have to be another lap. We're going to see that a lot tonight. And there are quite a lot of drivers, about 15 drivers that haven't set a lap yet. One of them is still Dominik Pester. Let's switch back to the silver category. Matthew Cheverton goes to the top of the standings, but on a very good lap at the moment is Stephen Fry. Does he go higher up the standings? I don't think so. It's an invalid lap, but it looked very, very quick indeed. But it won't count. It wasn't valid. Alain McKane was leading the championship heading into Spa last time out, but lost the lead in the championship. Not such a good round for him. We'll be hoping for much better this time around, and qualifying suggests even better. He is in 3rd place right now. Looking out for Stein Vatens. He was very quick in practice. Oh, and got a little bit obstructed on the inside of Tozer there from a teammate, you could say. But the nice, good-looking Lamborghini there. Let's see what Stein Vatens can do later on in the session. Was very quick in practice. Now a good 1st sector from Kruger, but not such a good 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th sector. So we'll go on to do another lap very shortly. On another quick lap is Jonathan Berry, heading around Ravazza now. Man, that Lamborghini looks so good. I'm glad it's back in the series in numbers, because it is such a good sounding and good looking car. It is old, yes. And it was a bit of a dog in previous, no offence to dogs, but it was a bit of a slow carriage in previous seasons. As Jonathan Berry goes even quicker, goes to 11th overall. We will switch the overall standings very shortly because that's the kind of positions we're looking out for, but some notable times coming through here. Kieran Davidson goes to 3rd in the gold category, and up to 2nd in silver category is Andy White, but up to 1st in silver category and up to 4th overall, actually, a long way clear of his rivals, is Brandon Vincent Squibb. Fantastic lap there, nearly half a second clear of Matthew Cheverton, who's just taken 2nd place. So I'll tell you what, at this point we will switch over to the overall standings, because this will be our actual grid for the sprint race. Now, Jonathan Berry here, just want to, if we go to 2nd place, Zara McGuinness, who she had a very good round at Spa-Francorchamps last time out. 3rd place, and 3rd place here in qualifying right now. And there's a lot of drivers, as you can see, between 30th and 15th place, where there's only one bronze driver in there, and that's Jochen Siegert. Yet to see what Jochen Siegert can do in this bronze category this season. He's had a bit of a quiet start, so we'll see how he gets on. And it seems pretty good here at Imola so far, if qualifying suggests anything. So let's see how Jochen Siegert gets on. Kruger, another good lap, up to 2nd place in silvers, but 11th overall. Needs a few more places and a bit more time, as the driver goes off into the gravel trap there. Oh, and there's a car off in the middle of the circuit there. I think that was one of the CSA cars. Can't quite figure out who that was. It might have been Elwin Sykes, actually. Gas Williams up to 5th position. And William Guthrie looks to be on a pretty good lap here, with the exception of Sector 4. But let's see how William Guthrie gets on this lap. It is quicker, but stays in 2nd place. But it is within a 10th of Benji McCluskey at the top. Now, I do remember William Guthrie and Benji McCluskey having a great battle at Road Atlanta in the prototypes a few seasons ago. Will we see the return of them two fighting tonight? I hope so. Jake Pitt and Harry Langford both are Quatermass drivers. 3rd and 4th into the gold category they go. Good laps from them. Now Brandon Vincent Squibb is slipping down the order a little bit overall here, with the gold drivers that are moving up the standings. The track is getting warmer, the tyres are getting warmer. That's what's happening here. And Stein Vatens, I missed when he went up to the top of the standings there, but he's at the top of the bronze category, 15th overall here. Brilliant time from Stein Vatens, who was quick in practice and seems to be carrying that form here in qualifying. Up to 3rd place overall goes Dominik Pester. The championship leader is now on the board, 11 minutes in, but is in a strong place. And the thing is, when you're in a healthy championship leading position like Dominik Pester is right now, you can relax a little bit for the 1 or 2 positions here and there, particularly in qualifying. Although he might start to sweat a little bit, as his nearest rival right now, Stephan Wessels, goes ahead. Now it is close between that top 4, and these are the names to look out for in this category, I feel. It are 3/10, pretty much, between them. Super close. And the top 18 within a second of each other on a 1 minute 40 lap. That is incredible. Much closer time differences than you see in Formula 1. Formula 1 is fantastic, actually, in qualifying on a track like this. Now, Jonathan Berry has gone back to the top of the bronze category standings. Jonathan Berry had a good opening race this season at Fuji, and we'll come back to Berry very shortly. Harry Langford in the Quatermass car straight to the top of the standings. Did go into the top 5 a lap ago, but is now to the top of the standings. Fantastic, and getting himself into the mix here. Now back to Jonathan Berry. He's gone to the top of the bronze category standings. Started off the season well with the sprint race win at Fuji. Now I had Jonathan Berry down as one of the favourites to win the bronze category this season. It hasn't gone to plan so far, but if he can get a good round in here, it might kickstart that championship bid. So let's see how he gets on. Now, 5th place in the bronze category is as low down, well, not anymore, but, well, is now as low down as 31st place, with Jonathan Berry being in 12th position, but down in 32nd place, 5th place in category. But 32nd overall is Oliver Forsström, the leader of the bronze category. Now, he has a healthy lead in the championship and hadn't won a race until Spa last time out. I know it was a real dominant victory last time out at Spa. But qualifying here right now is not quite going to plan for Oliver Forsström. A lot of places, positions on track behind his eventual rivals in the championship, you might feel. He's got some work to do. 20 places to claw up overall here. So we'll come back to the bronze category a little bit later on. Alain McKane slipping down the order a little bit as Matthew Cheverton and Jeffrey Kruger continue to move up places and continue to squabble for the top 3 in the qualifying here. They have got Brandon Vincent Squibb to contend with, though, who is a couple of places up and is in the top 10 overall right now. And Jake Pitt puts in another good time. Now, Jake Pitt has moved over to the Aston Martin. Jake Pitt has been driving the Mercedes... No, sorry, the Porsche. Quite a long time. And the rain is falling. There we go. You can see it on the screen now. I had a feeling rain was coming in. And now the rain is out. This might put a halt to qualifying now, as drivers are already going off the track, as you can see there. That was Kurt Van Honecker, I believe. And drivers are now going to struggle. Now, there's still drivers out there on dry tyres. That's what that compound is. You can see on our timing tower now. But there we go. That... Oh, I can't see the rain falling now, but that might have already affected the grips. The drivers might well start to struggle. Oh, there's the Ken Block tribute livery there, and going into the Ken Block livery car there. I think that was Fabian Kozielek going into the wall there. Now drivers are going to be heading into the pits. I can see drivers heading into the pits right now because I think this might well call qualifying. I might think we might have our grid for the sprint race now. Wow, incredible. Now, the drivers will have forecasts on their iRacing UI. Now, as I say that, hang on a minute. Heading across the line now is Brandon Vincent Squibb. I think that might have been an invalid lap. Yes, it was. In actual fact, it looked quick on the splits, though. Now, drivers will have forecasts, that I mentioned, on the iRacing UI, but it'll be a chance of rain. So it won't actually tell them if it's going to rain or not. But as I say that, our driver's still going quicker out there. So the track it's raining, but it's not fully wet yet. Harry Langford's gone even quicker. That last lap was his fastest. Goes a little bit further ahead of Benji McCluskey, but not by much. He's still 300ths between them, which is incredible. So, any other drivers who are going to surprise us here? Let's find out. Got Lucas Seedor who's heading across the line very shortly now. Lucas Seedor goes to 11th. Lucas might be disappointed with that. But at what point are we going to start losing grip on the track? That's what I'm also wondering. Benji McCluskey's just headed across the line there, and that last lap was a 1:41.475, which is not too far off of his PB. Is a tenth off, around about a tenth. And Carl Griffiths has just done a PB as well. Goes into 10th, breaks into the top 10, putting Brandon Vincent Squibb down to 11th. But this has really complicated the qualifying session now. Drivers will see that they can still get quick lap times in. But when does that stop? That's the question. Matthew Cheverton heading into the pits, and Harry Langford heads across the line now. That was a 1:41.4, which really isn't that far off of his PB, which is faster than the session right now. He might take some beating here with very few minutes to go, and actually as drivers will start crossing the line very shortly, it will be their final lap of qualifying they'll be undergoing. Alain McKane up to 4th in the standings in qualifying here, and just moving up was Gavin Gardner and Jamie Dury. Now let's keep an eye on drivers who are going to be crossing the line and starting their final lap of this qualifying session. Lucas Seedor crosses the line, yellow sectors, but we'll be able to go for one more lap here. But This seems to be a session about Harry Langford at the moment, at least, unless someone else can dampen that, ironically. Steph Wessels, championship defender, has definitely gone wide and over track limits there, and so has the driver behind, the Quatermass Mercedes. That might have been Jack Pittas, but Wessels will cross the line. And a lot of drivers here are doing yellow sectors, and there's a lot of drivers heading into the pits. So I think now the track has got too slippery. Yep, all yellow sectors and a lot of drivers heading into the pits. So I think we might have had qualifying there, ladies and gentlemen. That might be it. No driver is going quicker. And Harry Langford must be very pleased. He got his time in at the absolute perfect time, because it seemed that as soon as he put in his new personal best that extended his lead in qualifying here, that just seemed to be the moment that the grip faded away. Checker flag will be out now. Jamie Jory might not have made it to the line there, neither did Gavin Gardner, but Dominik Pester will cross the line. And drivers will probably stay out there just to get a little bit more rain practice in there. Now, we did have a wet race earlier on this season. That was at Fuji. No driver going quicker. Excuse me. No driver going any quicker now. And the spray actually coming off the cars now. So that just kind of tells you how wet it is. But the question is, what's it do to the sprint race? Now, well, I've got no weather radar on my overlay here, so I can only look at the sky and kind of see what's going on. I kind of had an inkling it would rain, but not at this point. The skies were looking dark throughout practice. I did have a feeling it would rain. So let's see what happens in the sprint race very shortly. The time will virtually pass on by. But look at that in the at the top of the standings there. 3 Mustangs, 1, 2, and 3. And in the silver category on pole position, it's a Mustang. But not in the bronze category. In second place, first and second place in the bronze category are Lamborghinis. So our pole sitters of each category are Harry Langford in the gold category, in the silver category is Brandon Vincent Squibb, and in the bronze category is Jonathan Berry. There's no bonus points for pole position. Nope, sorry, no, what am I talking about? Yes, there is. There's 1 bonus point for pole position in this championship. Drivers heading into the pits. Not much point finishing their laps. The only drivers that are still out there are Alain McKane and Matt Gadd, just getting a little bit of extra practice in. And as you can see there, very slippery for Alain McKane. And they were out there on slick tyres as well, remember, so it's going to be very, very tricky in these rear-wheel drive cars as well, I might add. There we go, that will conclude qualifying, and we'll go straight into the race. For this opening sprint race, a 20-minute race, and we'll see what happens with the weather. It is going to change in an instant, and that is because we do move on in time virtually. And as we move on, I think it might be a dry track, but let's come back to that very, very shortly. Let's go over the grid for this opening race of the night. It's Harry Langford who starts on pole position, taking the bonus point in gold category, with Benji McCluskey alongside in second. William Guthrie on his return to NextGen Racing is in third place, with Jake Pitt in fourth. Dominik Pester, fifth from Stephan Wessels, the championship defender, alongside the main championship rival. Seventh place is Gaz Williams, with Kieran Davidson in 8th position. Adam Wilson-Weir in 9th, and rounding off the top 10 is Kyle Griffiths. 11th place, top of the silver category, and takes the bonus points is Brandon Vincent Squibb, with Jack Pittas alongside in the gold category. 13th is Gavin Gardner with Lucas Seedor in 14th position, and the highest bronze category driver is Jonathan Berry with Gabriel Rupp in 16th position. Jeffrey Kruger is returned to the silver category is 17th from Jamie Dury alongside on that 9th row, and the 10th row taken up by Matthew Cheverton and Alain McKane. Harry Hartley-Price 21st with Stein Vatens in 22nd, Phil McDougall in 23rd and Stephen Fry in 24th. 25th is Andy White. Last time out at Spa, he was the race winner of the silver category. George Stone is alongside. Nigel Stock 27th from Oliver Forsström, the championship leader of bronze category in 28th. 29th is Paul Williams from Matthew Addy rounding off row number 15. Stephen de Grevelia in 31st with Jochen Seeger in 32nd. Wojciech Kerp in 33rd from Maciej Kazil. Wesley Lewin in 35th from Mark Baker in 36th. 37th is UOP Siemens and his teammate Elwyn Sykes alongside. Zara McGuinness in 39th from Rob Savage. Dirk Wagner 41st, who has moved from silver category to bronze category, and Samy Ariba in 42nd. Ryan Blackie in 43rd from Mike Riedner 44th. Matt Gatter in 45th from Fabian Kozielek. And Davide Favo in 47th from Shawnee Clark in 48th. And then the rest of the grid, it's Kurt Van Honecker, Jason Raff and Mark Sykes. So 51 drivers on the grid as we are nearing the get-go here at Imola for round 5 of the championship. There are the drivers lining up on the run down to Acqua Minerale. So they'll get half a formation lap before we get going, and the sky is fairly bright, so we might have a dry race here. Here's hoping. For the drivers, I imagine they're hoping. "51 drivers, an incredible grid awaits us. And we'll get underway very, very shortly. And this will be a 20-minute sprint race, as we mentioned. Later on, we have got the 1-hour feature race. But in this sprint race, we will not have any pit stops, no scheduled pit stops anyway. And although there are less points on offer for this sprint race, it is still very important for the drivers to get as many positions as possible. And also, to add to that, the grid for the feature race later on is decided based on the results of this sprint race, but within your category, within that category, the results will be reversed. So if you finish first in your category in this race, you'll start at the near back of the grid with an asterisk next to that for the feature race. Imola is a difficult track to overtake on, so this is going to be crucial for the drivers to get a good start and keep their nose out of trouble. Getting around the danger and getting further up the grid will be a lot of the drivers' priorities and worry here at the same time. They head around Rivazza, and we're about to start round 4 of the championship for the NextGen Racing GT3 Championship. Welcome along if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. Pace car peels off, and we're about to get underway. Now the live stewards will call green flag for the entire grid. When they get to the line, they must maintain safety car speed until they get there. Langford will lead us to the line. And now away they go for the opening race of the night. And further back there, Stephan Wessels is trying to get his way alongside other drivers, but he has to tuck back in as it gets very narrow on the run down to Tamarello, the first chicane of the lap here. And William Guthrie trying to move his way around Jake Pitt there, who is under pressure now from Dominik Pester. Oh, and there is an incident. That's Harry Hartley-Price. And we've got a bit of a connection issue there. There's so many cars moving through one piece of track at the same time. But Harry Hartley-Price has gone off the track there. And we have got internet connection issues out there. But hopefully it sorts itself out as the lap goes on. Good start for Harry Langford as he continues to lead from McCluskey and Guthrie just behind. Pester moves up 1 place, and Jake Pitt has dropped back 2 places. We saw he had a bad exit from the Tamburello. I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen. Not entirely sure what's going on here, but it's not looking good. Let's hope everything holds out. Moving up a lot of places at the start there was Jonathan Berry. Has moved up 5 places overall here to 10th places. A long way clear of his rivals. And Lucas Seidel is dropping down the order. Is off the track there at Aqua Minerale. And I do wonder if there's drivers who are struggling with a similar issue to what we're seeing right here. There's so many cars on the track that it might be an issue. But Lucas Seidel, his bad start to the season goes from bad to worse as other drivers are off the track now. That's Maciej Kazil off the track at the Brasini chicane. And I think I saw Stephen de Gravelia avoiding that incident also. Side by side between Kieran Davidson and Phil McDougall. But as we end lap 1 of this rather disconnecting race, hopefully it's not a true disconnection. But it is Langford leading from Benji McCluskey and William Guthrie on his return/debut in 3rd position. Leader of the bronze category is in 9th place. Oh my word, this is horrible. Yeah, difficult for me to watch as well, ladies and gentlemen. It might well sort itself out now. First lap blues. But yeah, Jonathan Berry leading the bronze category is in fact ahead of all silver category cars at the moment. But Jonathan Berry, he mentions in the interviews, he does a lot of practice hours, and so do the Michelin team, and it does pay off. They do win a lot of races in their categories. They do win a lot of championships as well. But Jonathan Berry in 9th place overall here, leading the bronze category. And just behind is the leader of the silver category, Brandon Vincent Squibb, 10th place, just ahead of Jeffrey Kruger. A good start to this race. He is absolutely bossing it right now. We will come back. Very little we can do at this point, I'm afraid, everyone. It's sometimes a thing where certain tracks cause these kinds of issues when there's so many cars on the track. There's 50 cars out there right now. It's quite demanding. Fast lap of the race for Langford as we end lap 2. As we look back to here, Jonathan Berry getting involved in the silver category battles here. He's alongside Jeffrey Kruger. Kruger really playing a risky overtake there in the attempt to keep up with Brandon Vincent Squibb. He does there. He's right behind and actually was just alongside, but couldn't quite maintain the move going into the Villeneuve chicane. Jonathan Berry is losing a few positions here. Him and Gabriel Rupp side by side heading out of Tosa. Jack Pitter. No, one of the Quatermass cars had a bad exit. There might have been a back marker. Word. Yeah, apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing we can do at this point. We can try and fix it for the next race, but there is absolutely nothing we can do at this point. It is frustrating, but we've got a short race to live with it. Is quite a big lead in the bronze category for Jonathan Berry. He's a long way clear of Stein Vatens, but points-wise that isn't really going to be helpful. What matters is the positioning category, but what it does mean for Jonathan Berry is a lot of time between him and Stein Vatens, of which 12 seconds, and fastest lap of the race in his category to add to that as well. Nearly loses it going off the track at Villeneuve there. Manages to keep it going. Meanwhile, back at the front, Langford's lost his lead a little bit, lost a few tenths to McCluskey, who's under a little bit of pressure equally from Guthrie behind as well. Dominik Pester's lurking in as well, and Dominik Pester set the fastest lap of the race last time around. So it's good to see. Nice, close, competitive top 5 here. With Stephan Wessels just at the tail of that battle. Four Mustangs in the top 4 and a Ferrari at the tail end of this battle. Shows that the Mustang is probably one of the better cars of the GT3 bunch at the moment. Fast lap of the race for Benji McCluskey. Until Tamburello there was within 2 tenths actually of Harry Langford. The thing is, this is a very difficult track to overtake on, so it's going to take something special for these drivers to swap positions, or even a mistake from any of them. Fast lap of the race for Brandon Vincent Squibb, but still got a lot of pressure from behind from Jeffrey Kruger. Fastest lap of the race for Stein Vatens, but probably a little, well, no, I wouldn't say too little too late, I wouldn't say that. At the end of the day, Jonathan Berry had a very good start and qualifying in this race, so is a long way clear already. Stein Vatens will still pick up a good amount of points. And actually in the bronze category, the championship leader, Oliver Forsström, seems to be out of this race actually. No, he's not. It's still in this race, we can see here, but a long way down. In fact, more than a lap behind, so might have had some first lap drama. Look how close Ben McCluskey is now to Harry Langford. Might he go for a move going into Revat? I hope we can see it if he does. Well, we didn't see it, but he didn't go for a move. Ben McCluskey does pick his moves very wisely, I have noticed. He very rarely makes a mistake. But let's see how he gets on heading into Tamburello. He's looking around, he's trying to find a way alongside. Much quicker on that last lap, lap time wise as well. But on the outside at Tamburello, it's not really the ideal line to be overtaken on, but he was forced to go that way as Langford defended along the main straight. This is what I mean, difficult to overtake here at Imola. And the rain is falling, so these drivers are now going to start struggling for grip very, very soon. Jonathan Berry with the fastest lap of the race, likewise with the leader of the silver category, Brandon Vincent Squibb. So at what point does the grip start fading away for the drivers? We saw drivers were still going quicker in qualifying earlier on. Langford was one of them. Things might get difficult for these drivers before the race ends. We're seeing a very similar transition of conditions to what we saw in qualifying. Look how close this top 3 are as we head into Aqua Minerale. Up and over the crest. Now the thing is, when they head into these corners, the first one to know about the grip or the lack of will be Langford. Not close enough to make a move is Benji McCluskey. And the thing is, McCluskey, although throwing a move to get into first place is one thing, he has got to keep an eye on behind as well. As if there's too much of a mistake and too much loss of momentum from an overtake he makes, it will make him vulnerable to the drivers behind as well. Now these drivers have got another thing to worry about, and that's the grip on their tyres as the track gets wetter. Not an ideal line through Tamburello there. William Guthrie was at a much cleaner line through Tamburello than Benji McCluskey just then, but no room to make a move at Villeneuve. Oh, and look at that big dive there from Dominik Pester. we would be allowed to complete that. Now that might end up being a completed move. He'll have the inside for the Piratella. Will Guthrie be able to power it around the outside? No, he won't. Through will go Pester. Trying the undercut there is William Guthrie, but it won't work. But up into the top three goes Dominik Pester, and they've lost a bit of time from Benji McCluskey and Langford, but they might be able to catch that back up. Only 7/10. But that was a very good move into Tozer. I don't think William Guthrie was expecting that, because William Guthrie was focusing on McCluskey ahead. And Pester just threw the move. We'll come back to this very shortly. Let's just check in with silver category. It's still Brandon Vincent Squibb leading from Jeffrey Kruger. Has in fact gapped Kruger a little bit. Jonathan Berry not too far behind these drivers in the overall standings, and a long way clear. 11.5 seconds clear of Stein Vatens. McCluskey has dropped off a little bit from Harry Langford on that lap just then. Now the sun's come out a little bit, but the rain's not easing. But that last lap looked to be pretty good from Harry Langford. But that last lap, in actual fact, all drivers were around about half a second to a second slower. So the grip is fading, I think. That is what's caught out Benji McCluskey a little bit. Wide in the background there was Steph Wessels. That'll be an instant point. But they do have a limit, but they do get some to use at their disposal. They get 10 in these sprint races, which means you can't afford more than one every 2 minutes. Gone back away now. Rain continues to fall, and that is going to continue to slow down the drivers. There's a couple of drivers who actually on that last lap did set their PB, but these drivers in the gold category were slower, considerably slower on that last lap. Dominik Pester, I thought he was going to try it then, but he's going to Tamburello. He's got the inside of Ben McCluskey there. The championship leader moves into second place here at Imola. Great moves here from Pester, and actually Benji McCluskey was all compromised through Tamburello there, and he loses time to Dominik Pester, and is now in trouble from William Guthrie, who's looking around but can't quite make a move going into Villeneuve. But Dominik Pester, two great moves we've seen in this race so far tonight. And might he go for first place? It's going to be opportunistic. Harry Langford a little bit held up by the BMW driver there. I think that was Dirk Wagner. The flash of the lights there to signal, get out of my way, I'm the leader of the race. Langford now has a new rival behind him in second place and will be applying the pressure. Phil McDougall climbs to 5th position past Alain McKane just then, and Alain McKane struggled to get out of Tozer. Here's a replay of what might have happened to Alain McKane. That's Phil McDougall behind. Oh, the Porsche just loses shape, and Alain McKane, you can see, had to slam on the brakes just to hold it in place. Less than 5 minutes to go in this race. The drivers are a little bit slower because of the rain. Dominik Pester on that last lap was one of the very few drivers to still set a 1:41. Flash the lights there. Langford signalling to the CSA driver to get out of the way. And look at Dominik Pester. He tried the inside, but blocking it off was Harry Langford. Oh, and he lost shape. Oh, and they're all trying to get around that back marker there. And the back markers so far, I'm going to say it, are not doing a great job of getting out of the way of the drivers here. Langford is guarding the inside, but on the inside goes Dominik Pester. Through he goes. Brilliant racing from Pester. as Langford is now in trouble from McCluskey as they enter Tozer. No overtake there from Pester, but from McCluskey, sorry, but Dominik Pester, leader of the race now. What a brilliant few laps he's had. Leads this race. Now Nigel Stock, something has happened to Nigel Stock just then. We're going to go to a replay. He was, I think, in the top 5 of the silver category. Oh, we might have just missed something in the gold category. We'll come back to that. Yeah, there you go. Nigel Stock spins at what used to be the Variante Alta, is now the Gresini. Now, this is Benji McCluskey. He's dropped to 6th place. Something's happened to him. Oh, he just spins under braking. He might have hit the paint. But that's a spin. It will drop him down to 6th place. He's back behind Jake Pitt. So that is a lot of hard work in this race and qualifying undone there. And also Brandon Vincent Squibb has dropped down the order as well. Not dropped down the order, has dropped to 2nd place and dropped a lot of time. So the drivers are really struggling now in this wet weather. Stein Vatens, oh, and you can see Stein Vatens just rejoined the track and has made contact with another driver. And I think Stein Vatens might be out of this race here. Yep, it's not looking good. The car seems to be immobile. And that was a potential 2nd place. It's gone now for him. Now, are there drivers in the pits? I don't think there are. There are drivers with black flags. Now, it might be that the drivers have run off the track too many times. We haven't got long left in this race. Hopefully we can fix this in that time. There's a spin from Jamie Dory. Well, we didn't quite see it then, but he's just off to our screen there. Jamie Dory spins at the chicane. Very close between Langford and Pester. Langford seems to have found some good form on this lap. He's right on the rear of Pester as we head down the main straight. Hopefully we get to see it properly. I don't think we're going to, but I think they have started the final lap of this race. Side by side is P1 and P2. Pester guards it. Oh my word. Getting very squirrely out of Tozer, and that's actually allowed Pester to blast away a little bit. That might hand over the win to Pester unless any mistakes happen. Spray heading out the back of the car now. Signals how wet it is out there. But Dominik Pester, leader of the championship heading into tonight. This is going to be very, very fruitful for his championship. Getting another win and getting points over his rivals. But there's another race to go yet tonight. Quite a lot going on in this silver category. Phil McDougall has just moved into 2nd place, past Brandon Vincent Squibb and Alain McKane. Now, driver into the barrier then. I think that might have been Mike Riedner, but a very shaky start to the night, both broadcast-wise and weather-wise. But Dominik Pester wins this sprint race from Harry Langford and William Guthrie. And it's going to be a return to silver category for Jeffrey Kruger as Dirk Wagner takes another spin. But a return to silver category is a return to the top step of the podium for Jeffrey Kruger, with Phil McDougall in second place. A good charge up the field, actually. 12 places gained overall in that race. And Brandon Vincent Squibb, third place for the championship leader. We're going to have to switch to different cameras here. Jonathan Berry will take the bronze category win. Dropped down a few places, actually, did Jonathan Berry. Actually has a missing rear bumper, so quite lucky that Jonathan Berry managed to get it to the end and didn't lose too much ground. But Matthias Kazil, his best result of the season so far, I would say, with a missing front bumper, but still second place for him, and Davide Favo in third position. But yeah, apologies again for the technical issues we've had there. We'll try and fix it before the next race. Hopefully we can fix it before the next race. The next race is the feature race. It'll be a 1 hour race. But a little bit of drama there from the rain. We were a little bit obstructed with that, with our visibility. But a little bit of drama in that race in that Benji McCluskey dropped out of winning contention to 5th place. Brandon Vincent Squibb dropped out of contention for the win in the race in the silver category, and dropping from second place out of the race was also in the bronze category Stein Vaten. So a lot of drivers who look good in qualifying, it's not quite gone their way in this race. Okay, so we will move to the results of this race. First of all, gold category, and it's Dominik Pester who takes the win by just over half a second from Harry Langford. William Guthrie on his return, a nice third place for him from Stephan Wessels in fourth position, and Benji McCluskey taking a spin with a few laps to go, drops to 5th place. Jake Pitt in 6th position from Jack Pittas in 7th, Gaz Williams in 8th, and Gavin Gardner in 9th. Lucas Seedor took a spin during that race in the early part. He's 10th from Harry Hartley-Price in 11th. Gabriel Roop in 12th. Adam Wilson-Weir in 13th. And a lap or more down were Jamie Dory, Carl Griffiths and Kieran Davidson. Silver category, and it's a win for Jeffrey Kruger on his return to silver category. Phil McDougall, a lot of places gained in that race, gets 2nd position from Brandon Vincent Squibb in 3rd. Alain McKane, 4th position from Stephen Fry, his teammate, in 5th position. Matthew Cheverton in 6th position. Last week's winner, Andy White, is in 7th position from George Stone in 8th. Wesley Lewin in 9th, and Jason Raff rounds off the top 10. Nigel Stock drops to 11th with the spin he had later on in that race, with Matthew Addy in 12th. A lap or more down were Mark Baker, Ryan Blackie, Jopi Siemens, Mike Riedner, Wojciech Kerp and Paul Williams. Bronze category now, and it's a win for Jonathan Berry. Pole position to the win. Did have a missing rear bumper, so something might have happened along the way for him, but it is a win nonetheless. Maciej Kazil in 2nd position from Davide Favo in 3rd place. Stephen de Gravelia in 4th position, followed by Elwyn Sykes and Matt Gatter in 6th. Shawnee Clark 7th from Mark Sykes. A lap or more down were Fabian Kozielek, Samy Ariba, Kurt Van Honecker, Dirk Wagner, Robert Savage, Jochen Seeger, Stein Vatens, championship leader Oliver Forsström, and a DNF for Zara McGuinness. We are going to go for a quick break, ladies and gentlemen, but when we come back, it is going to be the feature race. It'll be a 60-minute race. It'll start in approximately 15 minutes from now. So enjoy some Benji Sim photos taken of the last round at Spa-Francorchamps, and we'll be back very shortly for that second race of the night.
Welcome to NextGen Racing, the home for fair sim racing for all.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to NextGen Racing, live on Facebook and live on YouTube on NextGen Racing TV. We have got GT3 Season 8 coming up for you, and let's give a big shout out to our partner, sponsors and affiliates of this championship. They include Power Max Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, Falcon and PC, and Doble Motorcycles. This is Season 8 of the GT3s, Thursday night racing here at NextGen Racing. There's also Tuesday night racing with the NXTCC, which will be coming to its conclusion very, very shortly, but there's plenty of more championships on the horizon and still running here at NextGen Racing. So do scan the QR code to the off centre of our screen there. That'll give you access to NextGen Racing's Discord server. From there you'll meet the drivers, meet the admins, and be able to see all the news that is NextGen Racing. If the QR code does not work for you, or you cannot scan it for whatever reason, please go to the description of this video on YouTube or Facebook, and there is a link to Discord there waiting for you. We're in round 4 of the championship right now, Imola. We started off about a month ago at Fuji International, and then it was back in Europe for the Red Bull Ring. We went north to Belgium for Spa-Francorchamps for the first endurance round of the championship, and that was last week. But this week we're here at Imola in East Italy. Next week though, 2nd of October, as we move towards winter, we're heading towards Britain for round 5 of the championship. It's Thruxton Circuit, not traditionally a GT3 circuit, but we should see how it goes. It's a fantastic circuit on iRacing, so let's see how it goes with these GT3 races this time next week. And then when we're back for the second half of the season, it's the Daytona Road Course, an iconic track for endurance racing. We'll host our second of 3 endurance rounds of the championship to see us into the second half of the season. Then it's Laguna Seca for round 7 of the championship, and back in Britain for Brands Hatch for round 8, Germany for round 9 at the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit, and then the final round of the championship will end on an endurance round, and that'll be hosted at the Sebring International Circuit, home of the Sebring 12 Hours, and that'll be a 2-hour endurance to end the season on the 13th of November. Back with the live action then, and race 1 saw a very bad broadcast performance, I must apologise, but we should be sorted for this one. But yeah, I do apologise for that. It means that the race 1 wasn't great watching. It's not going to be great to watch on replay, but this feature race should be better. So let's find out. But our race winners from race 1 were in the gold categories. Dominik Pester making some brilliant moves to get himself to the top. And in the silver category, it was Jeffrey Kruger on his return to the silver category, took the win. And Jonathan Berry in the bronze category, dominant race win for him. Rewarded by a good margin in qualifying, and the race just continued it on. But let's see how race 2 gets on. We were interrupted with rain in the sprint race, but let's find out how this feature race will go. So this is the grid for the gold category. They'll start first, then the silver category will start in their own group later on second, and then later on, a few moments later, will be the bronze category. So here's the grid for the first starting group, and it is the gold category. Carl Griffiths on pole with Jamie Dory alongside. Adam Wilson-Weir with Gabriel Roop in 4th position. Harry Hartley-Price and Lucas Seedor in 5th and 6th. 4th row is taken up by Gavin Gardner and Gaz Williams, both next-gen drivers, with row 9 and row 10 taken up by the 2 Welsh drivers, Jack Pittas and Jake Pitt. Benji McCluskey a spin in race 1. He'll be looking for a better race 2. He's 11th from Stephan Wessels in 12th position. 13th is William Guthrie from Harry Langford in 14th, who tried to win that race in race 1, nearly won it, but was just short, with Dominik Pester making a move on the penultimate lap to win that race. And it's Kieran Davidson, who did not finish the previous race, will start at the back of the grid, of the gold grid, in this race. Paul Williams will start pole position in the silver category with Wojciech Kerp in 2nd. Mike Reedner 3rd from Jopi Siemens in 4th. Ryan Blackie 5th with Mark Baker alongside in 6th. 7th is Matthew Addy from Nigel Stock. Jason Raff 9th with Wesley Lewin in 10th. George Stone 11th from Andy White, who was last week's endurance race winner, is 12th. 13th is Matthew Cheverton with Stephen Fry alongside in 14th. Alain McKane will start 15th with Brandon Vincent Squibb in 16th. Phil McDougall with a very good performance in race 1 to move up so many places in that race is 17th, with Jeffrey Kruger all the way back in 18th for this race, having won the sprint race. Now in the bronze category, Oliver Forsström starts on pole position. He's the championship leader of the bronze category heading into this. He didn't have a good sprint race, but can he redeem himself in this feature race? Let's find out. Stein Vatens, who was quick in practice and qualifying, starts second in this race in the bronze category. Jochen Seeger, third position from Robert Savage. Dirk Wagner in 5th place with Kurt Van Hoonigen 6th. Samy Ariba in 7th from Fabian Kozielek in 8th position. Mark Sykes 9th from Shawnee Clark, and Matt Gatter in 11th and Elwyn Sykes in 12th. 13th is Stephen de Gravelia from Davide Favo, and Maciej Kazil in 15th place from the race winner of race 1. Jonathan Berry in 16th, and Zara McGuinness will start at the back of the grid due to not finishing the first race. That's your grid. 51 cars out there, the same number of cars have started. The sprint race will start the feature race, which is great to see. A 50 plus grid here at NextGen Racing in this GT3 Championship. Now, with the feature races, it is based on the results of the sprint race, but each category will be grouped together and reversed. So that's why we've got separate grids for this race. The gold category will start in their group first, then approximately 5 to 10 seconds later will be the silver category, and then approximately 5 to 10 seconds after the silvers will start the bronze category group. They are signalled when to start their race by the race director. They must maintain safety car speed until they get to the start-finish line, and then they can get going. Now the drivers will start their half formation lap now. Not much time to warm up the tyres, and not very great speeds. It's normally vehicle speed that warms up tyres better than weaving around, particularly at those speeds. And the tyres now on iRacing do take quite a bit longer to warm up, actually. But let's see if any rain interrupts in this race coming up either, because that was a big factor in the previous race. A couple of drivers span as a result of the rain. We'll see if it affects this race. It affected the sprint race similar to what it affected the qualifying. The rain kind of came about halfway through, and by the final 5 minutes it was a hindrance on the drivers and their race. So as you can see, the gold category are heading towards Ravazza now. Silver category are back here heading down the hill, and bronze category, well, they're a little bit further back, but they'll have to start further back in their category as well. Now we're heading towards the start-finish straight. We will start the second race of the night. It's Carl Griffiths that will lead us to the line. Safety car peels off. We'll get going once the race directors and the marshals wave go for this race. Let's see what previous race winner Dominik Pester can do in this race. Carl Griffiths on our right, Jamie Dory to our left. And the lights are green, we're underway. Gold category, our go. As we head over to Tamarello. Carl Griffiths leads us into turn number 1, and Jamie Dory's trying to go around the outside here. Jamie Dory might well take the lead here. Fantastic start to the race for Jamie Dory. He's in the lead. Now the silver category heading to turn number 1. Paul Williams, Jopi Siemens side by side. No, sorry, it's Wojciech Kerb who goes across the curb, and that allows Jopi Siemens to go through and got his nose in front here. A little bit of contact between the two, but Jopi Siemens will lead heading out of the first couple of corners. Now Oliver Forsström is away in the bronze category, a long way ahead here with Dirk Wagner in second place. He's already gained quite a few places, actually. Good start to the race for him. Jamie Dory leads us in the gold category into the Piratella. And let's check on towards the back of this category. Benji McCluskey is already up a few places to 9th. Stephan Wessels making his way past Gaz Williams. And look at this, Dominik Pester already trying to pass Gaz Williams as well. Trying to keep up with his rivals, Dominik Pester. We saw some big moves from him in the sprint race to get the sprint race win. And look at this, side by side between Pester and Gaz Williams through the chicane. And Gaz Williams got a bad exit. And that allows Pester through, and Stephan Wessels actually, that was passing him through the chicane. But Carl Griffiths has got back the lead in this race. He's taking it back away from Jamie Dory, and this is how he did it. This is heading towards the chicane. Might be heading out of the chicane that the move comes. Carl Griffiths brakes a bit earlier. Jamie Dory gets a little bit out of shape over the curbs, and that allows Griffiths through. Silver category, Matthew Addy has taken the lead here, and look at this squabble at the front between the top 3 in the silver category. Addy versus Kurt versus Siemens. And Matthew Addy is allowing Kurt to get to the inside there. I just wonder if Addy's going to try and keep it on the outside heading through Tamburello. Yes, he is. Contact between the two, and Addy nearly goes off the track, but Kurt's able to keep it going through and back into the lead. Bronze category, Forsström is battling with Dirk Wagner here. Oh, very close here between them two through Tamburello. Side by side still, but Dirk Wagner is going to take the lead potentially here from the championship leader. And look at this, Jochen Seeger is trying to get alongside. He's made it 3 wide going into the chicane. And contact between the two teammates. Off goes Dirk Wagner. He can't keep it out of the wall. That's going to be race over potentially for Dirk Wagner, who momentarily took the lead of the race there. Now, through all of that, oh, and there's a car off on the side there. That looks like Jopi Siemens, actually. Through all that, Steinwaiters is now taking the lead in the bronze category here, heading up the hill. Him and Samy Ariba have capitalised on the slowing Forsström and Seeger from... Oh, hang on a minute. There was a car nearly pulling onto the track there. That was Wesley Lewin. Got away with that. That could have been a big accident if he went onto the track any more than that. But Forsström and Seeger lost out there a lot and cost them position. Stein Vatens, who was quick in practice and qualifying, is in the lead of the bronze category. Now, someone who's made a move in this race is Adam Wilson-Weir. He's up to 2nd place, gaining on Carl Griffiths up ahead. Now, Adam Wilson-Weir is the outgoing bronze category champion, promoted, double promoted to gold category for this championship. And he's looking quick right here at Imola in the Lamborghini on home turf, it must be said. So let's see if we can get any more Lamborghini wins, as we saw one in the bronze category in race 1. Checking in on our main championship protagonist. That's Benji McCluskey trying to make his way past Jack Pittas. Normally McCluskey is slow, I would say, in the way he gets through the pack and past drivers to the front of the grid. He takes his time with it. But I suppose nowadays with drivers like Stephan Wessels and Pester, who, excuse the term, but are much more aggressive in their style of overtaking. That's not that's a compliment, believe me. But yeah, because of that, McCluskey has to put the foot down a little bit more in these races, which really isn't akin to his style. But in this race so far, that's the point I'm trying to make here. He's doing rather well. 4 places gained already. Oh, and Jamie Doy's off the road. Can't catch him on the standings here, but he's gone off the track there. The Audi is not gripping well on this track by the looks of it, and he's really struggling with that. So let's just get another shot of that. That was from the previous lap, so let's get this one. Oh, it just gives way when the car lands from the curb. And that just sends him round there, sends him to the back of the gold category. Unfortunately, it's quite a shame to see. Now, William Guthrie is out of this race already, according to my timing tower. That's quite a shame. We'll have to see if anything has happened to him. Let me see if I can try and find that. Let's get back towards the gold category here. I'll see if I can find anything that's happened to William Guthrie. His return to the series, that's not gone well for him. Quite a shame, really. He did very well in race 1, getting a podium. Doesn't see anything on the timing screen, actually, for William Guthrie, so not entirely sure what's happened there to him. But Carl Griffiths here. Carl Griffiths, I'd say the last time we saw Big results from him was round 1 at Fuji. I think he got a podium in either the sprint or feature race. Can't remember exactly which one. But a good result from him in that race. Hasn't really appeared on the radar of the top 3 since then. But right now, him and Adam Wilson-Weir are pulling away with this. They are more than 3 seconds clear of Lucas Seedorf, who's no slouch himself. Could well gain on these other drivers up ahead. We'll have to see. And by the way, it should be mentioned that Sorrento Motorsports today, you'll just see it now, as he goes wide onto the same painted off track there, the green, white and red, but Sorrento Motorsports are sporting a tribute livery to Italy, I believe, today. So, yeah, special livery for this event, being a team with Italian heritage. They're running a new livery in honour of that heritage for Sorrento Motorsports, so a fantastic tribute to them. But not such a tribute to Sorrento right now is Gabriel Rupp making a move past Lucas Seedorf, who's now dropping down the order. I think that's a disconnection for Lucas Seedorf. Oh, he's back, Oh, that was a momentary loss, and he's lost a bit of ground as a result. Benji McCluskey is hot on his case, and look at this! Adam Wilson-Weir is going for the lead in the race here. Gold category leading contention between these two into Tamburello. But on the outside is Adam Wilson-Weir. He holds it around the outside. Oh, but Carl Griffiths has got the better line for turn number 2. But Adam Wilson-Weir, last season bronze category champion, this season contending for the lead in gold category. Would you believe it? Can he keep that going? But the more he fights, as he hits the curb and goes a little bit wide there, that's going to lose him a bit of time from Griffiths. But the more they battle, the more that's going to put them in danger from the drivers behind who could be catching. Now, Jason Raff in the silver category has had an incident, has dropped down the order a little bit. Let's find out what's happened. This is going into Tamburello, I presume. Now, that is a Mission R driver, I think, on the inside. Oh, and a car on his inside turns into the corner. I'm not sure if it was a late move. It was a bit fast to tell. But that sends Jason Raff round and down the order. Stein Vaten's trying to get by now. Stein is still leading the bronze category fairly convincingly at the moment. Now it's getting quite dark here at Imola. I fear it might start raining again at some point soon. Now, if it does start raining, it means that drivers might well take an earlier stop and go over to wet tyres. That is a prospect in this race. We'll keep an eye on that. We actually can with our timing tower this week. Now, Wojciech Kurp still leading this race. Norwegian driver in the McLaren. New team in this championship, I believe. Leading this race from Matthew Addy. And just behind is Matthew Cheverton. A lot of places gained for Matthew Cheverton in this race. And Matthew Cheverton does move through the order quite quickly. Happened last season, happened the season before, and it's happening again today. And Phil McDougall is also having a good night. Second place in race 1. And he's 4th place right here, right now. And could try and gain on the top 3 here. Nigel Stock not too far behind. Not such a good first race for Nigel Stock. It's been a bit of a tricky start to the season for Nigel Stock. He's had a few good results here and there. As Matthew Cheverton's moving past Matthew Addy here. There he goes, into 2nd place. It must be said, very beautiful red metallic Mustang there. Back to the gold category. Griffith still leads. He's got a bit of a margin to Adam Wilson-Weir now, but they're still holding their ground ahead of Gabriel Rupp back here in 3rd, who's getting away from Lucas Seedorf here, who's holding up Ben McCluskey, who's going to be keen to get in front. Oh, it's a little bit wide. There goes Lucas Seedorf, and all over the rear now is McCluskey, but the Variante Alta is the next corner, and this is a very difficult corner to overtake on. It's the Grassini chicane. Oh, look at that sideways from McCluskey, powering it out of the corner in that Mustang. Now he is surrounded now by 2 Sorrento Motorsports drivers, so they will work together as much as they can, but Dominik Pester will feel that he's got the championship in his grasp, albeit only 4 rounds in. Lucas Seedorf will help Pester out as much as possible, probably rather than vice versa. Here we go. Can McCluskey make the move going into Tamburello? Fastest lap of the race from Adam Wilson-Weir, by the way. He's looking strong in this race. Here we go. McCluskey goes to the outside of Lucas Seedorf. These two, for a period in the championship last season, were battling. Oh, let's look at that. McCluskey tried to get alongside Seedorf's outside but had to evade and had to quickly block Dominik Pester heading out of the Tamburello chicane. This is the style of racing from McCluskey we don't often see. Much more aggressive. And you know what? I'm all here for it. Much more exciting. Silver category. Nothing yet from Cheverton on Wojciech Kurp. And Steinvaten still leads. 4-second gap to Rob Savage. It is a Michelin 1, 2 and 3 with Ariba in third position. There's a strong contingent of Michelin drivers in that bronze category. But they're A-lister, I would say, in their team is Adam Wilson-Weir, and currently A-listing here, especially going for the lead in this race. Carl Griffiths holding on very well, it must be said. Carl Griffiths, I would say, has got a great opportunity to get a win in this race. He's super quick, as we've seen from various rounds this season. He's part of the Sorrento Motorsports team as well, and you know what? Them with a few good results tonight, with Lucas Sidor and Dominik Pester in the upper positions of the gold category as well, it might be an opportunity for them to take the lead in the teams championship tonight, after tonight as well. If things continue to go their way as they are tonight. I think this is Matthew Cheverton lining up a move on Wojciech Kurp. Looking to the outside, but Kurp is covering the inner line. That's Matthew Addy trying to get his way around a back marker, but Phil McDougall is closing in on this battle for the top three. Flash of the lights there to say to the back marker, come on, get out of my way. I want some of these guys up front here. And Cheverton will know there's drivers heading their way. Look at that, Cheverton had a great exit from Tozer, actually. He might already have the inside as we head up towards Piratella. Later on the brakes is Cheverton, even gets it a little bit sideways, trying to slow it down even more, and he's through into the lead of the silver category. Wojciech Kurp is fighting it back though, but does not have the ideal line for the corner. And Matthew Addy will try for second place here. That might not be what Phil McDougall wants to see, is Matthew Cheverton getting into the lead of the race, because this means that Matthew Cheverton could potentially pull away here as we look to Benji McCluskey. Oh, and there's contact between all three drivers there, but McCluskey is through and into fourth position. And here's a full replay of how that happened. We'll go back to live pictures soon. And heading out of the chicane, bad exit by the looks of it from Lucas Sidor. And he completes the move, and let's just see some of the contact that happened going through the Rivata. Look at that, Sidor's trying desperately to guard it, and there is contact. Somehow McCluskey keeps hold of it. Constantine is up, but Pester's not able to capitalise on it. They carry on. Oh, hang on a minute, we have got more battling. Pester is now alongside McCluskey. He's got the better line. McCluskey's trying his desperate amount to stay there, but he has to evade to the gravel. And that's going to lose him more places. Oh, look at that. To his inside is Harry Hartley-Price, but he backs out of it. Probably a good idea to do that heading into that corner at that angle. But wow, that was a superb battle between them two. I feel like McCluskey might be a little bit aggrieved by that. Let's see how far back we can go from this. Here we go. This is heading towards Tamburello. This is Dominik Pester getting past Lucas Sidor. Look at that. Lucas Sidor dives to the inside of McCluskey, upsets his line, and that's how Pester's able to get around him. Bit of teamwork going on there, it must be said. Whether you want to call it fair or not is one thing, but what Lucas Sidor has done for his teammate there nonetheless is it's allowed Pester past that battle, and has now got a clear track ahead of him that he can focus on. He can get his head down and focus on catching up with the top three, who are 5+ seconds up the road. That's going to be some catching to do in 45 minutes. But Dominik Pester's championship leader for a reason. Now Ben McCluskey will try and catch back up with Lucas Sidor and Jack Pittas. Jack Pittas, Mr. Consistent, always in there, always fighting for these top 5s. Great to see. Back in silver category. It's still fairly close between them, but I do feel like Cheverton is breaking away a little bit from Kerp, and Addy's dropping off a little bit from Kerp, the aforementioned. Now, Phil McDougall has disappeared from our standings here. Let's see if we can see if anything's happened to him. Phil McDougall's dropped a lot of places here, and I'm not entirely sure why. He's dropped down to 13th place. Nothing's come up on my timing screen to say why. Brandon Vincent-Squibb and Jeffrey Kruger were 1 and 2 in the previous race there, closing up towards Nigel Stock just up ahead. Jeffrey Kruger in the top 5. Must admit, it's a bit of a shame not to see him in gold category anymore. But on the other hand, it's great to see Jeffrey Kruger fighting for victories and fighting for top 3s and top 5s again. If only we could say that about every driver in this series, it would be great to be able to say that. In the sense that every driver is fighting for victories in every race. That's merely what I mean. Stein Vatens has dropped down in the bronze category here. This might be what happened to him. Stein Vatens was leading at this point. Into Tozer. The car just lets go heading out of Tozer. Went a little bit hot into that corner, I would say, and trying to reverse back on the track. That's ended up in that worst possible angle to rejoin the track at, because what you don't want to do is rejoin the track and rejoin at a bad angle. And impede any of the traffic. That's not what you want. Now, Dominik Pester is already caught about 2 seconds since the last time we checked in here on Gabriel Rupp. Oh, and wide there goes Lucas Seedor, and that relinquishes a position to Benji McCluskey. Goes wide there, heading out of Piratella, and as they head into Aqua Minerale, hits the curve, and that's where it goes wrong. That's the thing with Imola, the curbs are treacherous on this track. They will, sometimes it will work going on the curbs here at Imola, and sometimes it will just spit you off into the gravel or the off the edge of the track. This is McCluskey trying to make a move for 5th place on Jack Pittas. There are a couple of drivers already making pit stops. Matthew Addy is one of them, but through into 5th place goes Benji McCluskey. Dominik Pester is 3.5 seconds up the road. He'll work on trying to catch him. Now, Jeffrey Kruger has got his way into the top 3, with Matthew Addy pitting, of course. He has made his way past Nigel Stock. For 3rd place. And this is Brandon Vincent-Squibb flashing the lights to Nigel Stock to say, I'm coming. And that is the championship leader we're looking at there in 5th place. A good 2nd place result in the sprint race. Puts him in good stead for the feature race here, and then the championship ongoing out of this race, if this race can go to plan. As I mentioned that, an incident has happened to Alain McKane. Oh, he's facing the wrong way, heading out of the final corner. And it hasn't quite gone to plan in the last few rounds, actually, for Alain McKane. The season started off so well, actually. A win at Fuji, a good result at Red Bull Ring, and the car just spins around under the power there. I am noticing the Porsche is struggling nowadays, actually. There's not many drivers in the Porsche, actually, in this championship now. I count 3, 4 drivers. Now, Kyle Griffiths has stretched his lead away from Adam Wilson-Weir, now to up to 4 seconds. Adam Wilson-Weir is falling into the clutches of Gabriel Rupp and potentially Dominik Pester. Fastest lap of the race from Jeffrey Kruger. He's got the hammer down and working on catching up with Wojciech Kurp and his old rival from last season, Matthew Cheverton. We might see a classic battle from last season repeating this season in this race between Kruger and Cheverton. Let's see if that indeed happens. Now, in the bronze category, Rob Savage is now leading the race as Stijn Vatens has dropped down. Something's happened to Stijn Vatens along the way. I think we were trying to find that a moment ago, but nothing came up. Savage leads, and I can't quite remember if Rob Savage won any races last season, and if you can convert this, it'd be, I think, his first win in NextGen Racing. If any of the Mission R drivers are watching on YouTube or Facebook, please let me know in the chat. I think Rob Savage is yet to win a race, and Samy Ariba has won a race this season. That was at Fuji in the feature race, so he's in a good position here. The rest of the season hasn't quite gone to plan for him. This race is going okay so far. And Kurt Van Honecker in the Ken Block tribute livery there. 3rd place for him. And the timing tower is jumping around a little bit. It does say drivers are out there. Not. It's just the timing tower having a little bit of a hissy fit. Doesn't seem to enjoy some races sometimes. And if it's not the the broadcast graphics that I have, I mean the iRacing. If it's not my iRacing that's having a hissy fit, it's the timing tower. It seems tonight. Yeah. So this is good conversion here from Kyle Griffiths, extending his lead there, making it more difficult for Dominik Pester, his teammate I might add, to close in. But what it does mean is good points for Sorrento Motorsports out of tonight if Dominik Pester can get himself up to higher positions. Benji McCluskey just shy of 4 seconds behind. Oh, and Jeffrey Kruger has taken a spin back there. Jeffrey Kruger was 3rd place and actually was right up the backside there of Wojciech Kurp. Oh, and the car just lets go on the curb heading out of Aqua Minerale. And that is a lot of places and a lot of time lost for Jeffrey Kruger. Puts him back down to 6th place. That hands a lot of the advantage back to Brandon Vincent Squibb, but Matthew Cheverton, who did miss a round last time out, will wait for the drop rounds to take place. We'll be hoping to convert this lead into a win. Harry Langford, 6th position. Strong start to the sprint race. Is doing quite well in this feature race, actually. Is up to 6th place. But he'll be disappointed he couldn't convert into a win in the previous race. He was overtaken by Dominik Pester and did take a spin further on in that race. A lot of traffic around here now. A lot of the drivers meeting up with other categories. The bronze category getting lapped here. Oh dear, and that did not look comfortable for Langford or one of the ECO drivers. I think that might have been Dirk Wagner. Bouncing across the grass there, but Langford gets away with it and he'll have to serve a slow down penalty. He might have already done. But That is not comfortable driving from gold category drivers that are trying to lap over drivers. And that happens. It's very unnerving. Fastest lap of the race. Benji McCluskey, 41.15. Very quick lap indeed compared to previous race, qualifying and practice. 3.5 seconds behind Dominik Pester. The thing is, it's going to be very difficult to claw back the time on Dominik Pester. It was half a second, to be fair, on that last lap that he clawed back. 3.5 seconds on arguably one of the fastest drivers in the field. It's going to be very difficult. We're nearing the halfway point in this race, and the pit stops will roll around very shortly. We haven't seen any rain yet. Don't know if we're going to get any, but we'll see. We'll see. We did in the sprint race. We did in qualifying. This is Jason Raaf in 4th place, trying to chase down Nigel Stock. Now, there has been a pit stop from silver category driver Jeffrey Kruger. He's down in 8th place now, so I believe he's been in the pits. And that might have been in reaction to the spin. Now actually, gold category, they are now pitting, and a lot of them are. It's not the easiest track to fuel save on either, so saving an extra lap here is quite hard going actually, and all these gold category drivers are filtering into the pits. Harry Hartley-Price has managed to stay out. Silver category heading in. Matthew Cheverton from the lead of the race. Wojciech Kurp also in the pits. Nigel Stock's in the pits with Jason Raff following him in. Harry Hartley-Price has managed to save enough fuel to do an extra lap here, or has he? Could this be a bit of a mistake? Not sure, but we'll find out. And it must be pointed out, Steph Wessels has not had an ideal start to this race. He's a long way down the order and a lot of time back, so something might have happened in the early part of the race for him. Back out on the track is the gold category leader, Kyle Griffiths, and Dominik Pester has got the jump on Adam Wilson-Weir, who has rejoined quite a way behind, 11th place now, so that really hasn't gone to plan for Adam Wilson-Weir. From 2nd place, he was looking so good. But Dominik Pester will take that ahead of Gabriel Rupp. And into net 2nd place once Hartley-Price pits. With the silver category, I think Jopi Siemens is yet to pit. Is. So I'd say Matthew Cheverton is rejoined in 1st place in the silver category. So a very much untouched pit stop routine there for the silver category leader. Brandon Vincent Squibb, the championship leader, is not too far behind. While in the bronze category, they have pitted also Rob Savage and Kurt Van Honecker in the pits. Kurt Van Honecker having a good race here. And Stijn Vatens has got himself back into 3rd place here. He's not actually too far behind Rob Savage, despite what happened earlier. Samy Ariba drops to 4th here, and Zara McGuinness, she did DNF from the 1st race, but this has been a tremendous comeback in this 2nd race, up to 5th place in the bronze category, and championship leader in bronze category. Although started on pole position, this really hasn't gone to plan for Oliver Forsström, who was lightning quick in the bronze category last time out at Spa. Maximum points for him. But it's not quite going that way tonight, and will be a couple of points dropped, and it could mix things up in the bronze category considerably. Pester is now 4 seconds back from Carl Griffiths' teammate. Benji McCluskey's not too far behind Dominik Pester, actually. In fact, on that pit stop, round the pit stops, McCluskey has done well to gain a little bit of time on the drivers ahead. And I can just tell by McCluskey's driving style here, he's just going for it in this race. He realises at round 4 here there is a championship at stake. He was so close to winning the championship last season. He was ripped away from him from by a dodgy internet connection. He's got a new rival this season in Dominik Pester. He's got a teammate up ahead of him, which could be helpful. A teammate certainly helped to get Dominik Pester into the position that he's in right here. Now Brandon Vincent Squibb is lurking in on Wojciech Kurp, and this is the battle, what's going to be the battle for second place in silver category. Wojciech Kurp has done very well to be in this position in this race. Contended with Cheverton for a few laps. But let's see what he can do against Vincent Squibb, the championship leader here. And Brandon Vincent Squibb finished second in the first race, so a second in the feature race would still be a good amount of points. Benji McCluskey. He's got Dominik Pester in his sights. But he's got to get by Gabriel Rupp to catch up, and he's got to continue catching. That last lap, actually, from Benji McCluskey was 3/4 of a second quicker than Dominik Pester. And he still holds fastest lap of the race, does McCluskey. That last lap was a couple of tenths quicker than drivers ahead as well. So really don't write McCluskey off of this race just yet. Back to the silver category battle, much closer this time around. And Wojciech Kurp seems a bit submissive here to Vincent Squibb, who's found the inside already, heading towards Tamburello. And I think... oh no, Kurp is fighting it back at turn 2. Here is still alongside. As they go through turn 3 though, Vincent Squibb will filter in front. And that's second place to the Scottish driver. Kurp looking around potentially to fight back. But Vincent Squibb has found his way into second place and now can focus on trying to catch up with Matthew Cheverton. But a 5-second gap. It's going to be a tall order. Back to bronze category, it's a 2-second lead for Robert Savage ahead of teammate Stijn Vatens, who's only just a little bit ahead of Kurt Van Honecker. So this bronze category battle is hotting up and could get closer. McCluskey does edge closer and closer to the Aston Martin up ahead, driven by Gabriel Rupp, who was on his debut last time out at Spa, I believe, and put in a very good debut, actually, with a very good result. And so far tonight in this feature race is looking very strong indeed. Langford moves his way past his teammate. I think that was a tactical swap of positions between the two. Langford now set loose to go after McCluskey. although Pittas is in the stronger championship position, Harry Langford is probably considered the leader of the team and the pace setter of the team. And will be let loose like a Rottweiler to go after the drivers up the front. Nigel Stock has got a little bit of a queue of silver drivers behind him. There's Phil McDougall right behind, Jeffrey Kruger as well. And Jason Raff's not too far up behind as well. And William Guthrie is trying to get through on the overall positions here to get himself closer to gold category drivers further up the field. He's 14th right now, so this feature race hasn't quite gone to plan for Guthrie on his return. But a good sprint race though, and it's good to see him back in the series. Oh, and Adam Wilson-Weir is taking a spin off the inside of the track there. It was looking so good for him at the start of this race, not going so well at this point. Oh, just outbroke himself. Oh, the car just gives way on the outside there. Still very slippery on the, if you can call it, turf on the outside of the corner there. And because this is a fixed setup series as well, as we mentioned at the start of the broadcast, it also means that there's certain setup on this car might suit certain tracks and might not suit other tracks as much. And I do believe it's quite a low downforce setup as well, which means on a track like this where there's lots of corners and bumps that can really upset the car and high curbs, it means it's quite difficult to control these cars. But it means they're set up for optimal performance at tracks such as Spa-Francorchamps, maybe even Thruxton next week. Which, yep, as we mentioned, that is our next round. The 2nd of October, just 1 week from today, it'll be Thruxton Circuit. Join us live on NextGen Racing YouTube and Facebook to catch that race as it happens live. Looking forward to that round indeed. It's the one I'm most anticipating because it is probably the a bit of a wild card round actually, isn't it? With it being such a random track added to the schedule, not traditionally a GT3 circuit. Now McCluskey is close to Gabriel Rupp. He has to look to the outside going to Tamburello. Might try a bit of an undercut switchback move as he takes much later apexes through these corners, but overtaking at Villeneuve is very, very difficult, so might have to set up another rebound slingshot type move heading into Tosa. But it's very difficult to do that against rival drivers in the gold category because everyone is close to perfection, particularly in the gold category in this series. Bronze category still real close. Less than 2 seconds between the top 3 here. Just about 2 seconds. There's Rob Savage heading through. Stijn Veetens and Kurt Van Honecker. I don't think I've seen Kurt Van Honecker win a race in the bronze category. Oh no, he might have 2 seasons to go. Might have. My memory isn't that good for this series, although it is fairly good. Not that good. But Kurt Van Honecker could be on his way to a sporadic win, let's just say, if he can get by Veetens and Savage. Stijn Veetens has got silver category driver Ryan Blackie right in front, and he's trying to pass him. Ryan Blackie not making it easy. And John Berry telling me in YouTube there he had a frame drop and retired from the race. That is such a shame for the race 1 winner. The championship not going so well from Jonathan Berry, who I said earlier on in the stream could be a favourite for the championship. It's slipping away a little bit, but there are rounds to go, so don't give up, I would say. Now that's Stijn Veetens past a driver for overall position, which means that they don't necessarily have to obey the blue flags. In fact, there are no blue flags between those drivers because it is overall position. But it means that Stijn Wessels now can get after his teammate Rob Savage up the front. Rob Savage, as I mentioned, I don't know if he's won a race in NextGen. I really don't know. Oh, that's Ben McCluskey moving away slowly from Tozer. The driver who was pushing desperately hard has dropped out there, but as we go through, Tozer rejoins. Oh no, too much gas and the car spins around. He'd be so frustrated about that. Down to 7th place, and you know what, that might have been the first time we've seen a genuine mistake from Benji McCluskey. Pushing desperately hard. We'll see what he can recover from the rest of this race. Let's see what he can do. But that just gives a little bit of breathing room, a little bit of relief to Dominik Pester, knowing that one of his nearest rivals has fallen by the wayside a little bit. And Stephan Wessels is not having a good feature race here either. The sprint race was okay, probably not to his standard, I feel. But this feature race is not quite going to plan. He's only just in the top 10 here. He now moves up to 8th, past Jake Pitt there in the Aston Martin. And don't panic, John, in the YouTube comments. Tony Tower's having a hissy fit. It's just having one of those days. Half second clear of Stijn Wessels. Now Stijn Wessels has got by Ryan Blackie. He's really closing in well on Rob Savage here. This could be a very, very interesting battle between the two teammates. Papaya rules, or whatever the equivalent is at Mission R. Mission R being rules, I don't know, but let's see what happens. And they got Kurt Van Hoenicker lurking around as well. And there is, but, well, to be fair, this race has kind of flown by in some of this. Some of the last 15 minutes or so has really flown by, actually, since the pit stops. We'll check back in with this battle very, very shortly. Brandon Vincent Squibb not quite closing in on Matthew Shepperton. Now these two will be two drivers I'm looking out for this season to be real close on times and pace and battling on the track. We're yet to see if Jeffrey Kruger emerges as a silver championship battalion, I'm going to call it. We'll have to see when the points refresh tonight. Hopefully it'll be tonight while we're still on broadcast. But we'll see if he becomes a championship contender, because he's been in gold category, it's quite hard for me to remember or to identify how well he's doing in silver category, so it all becomes more clear after tonight. But might Kruger be another silver category challenger? But I do feel there is certainly a third name in the mix this season. Just checking back in with these two. 2.8 seconds between Dominik Pester and Carl Griffiths. I do wonder what will happen later on if they get close together towards the end of the race. Do they swap positions or not? Because Carl Griffiths hasn't won a race yet this season. Dominik Pester has. But Dominik Pester is going for the championship. And I would say this will definitely be, if it wasn't last week, this race definitely, especially, will be a breakthrough race for Dominik Pester in the lead of the championship. And when the drop rounds roll around, presumably after round 5, as it was last season, and then they get refreshed from then on, it gives us a much better picture of where drivers actually are in the championship. Back to the bronze category battle, and in amongst this battle is Ryan Blackie from the silver category. He's 8th in category. And Stijn Vetens just then seemed to have broken away a little bit, and I've got to say that the two good looking cars out there are the Aston Martin and the Lamborghini. Much smaller cars than the Mustang, but it's good to see the Lamborghini has got some traction again. No pun intended there. It's good to see it featuring again, but it does seem that the Porsche slipped by the wayside a little bit since last season, where everyone was pretty much driving the Porsche last season as well as the Mustang. And the sun's come out here at Imola. Imola's much nicer when it's in the sunshine. Oh, a big dive to the inside there from Kurt Van Honecker. Oh, and a spin there for Ryan Blackie. That might have actually distracted Ryan Blackie, the dive there, or the half dive there from Kurt Van Honecker. And that sends him into the barrier. Spun by himself, there was no contact. But that means Kurt Van Honecker can now focus on Stijn Vetens up ahead. But that's bad luck for Ryan Blackie as he drops down a few places and hits the wall. Just over 12 minutes to go in this race. Dominik Pester is still closing in. That last lap was more than a second quicker than Carl Griffiths in actual fact. Carl Griffiths might have had trouble with back markers on that last lap. That might have been what caused it. But I think what Dominik Pester will also be going for right now is he's not too far off of it actually with his best time. But it's the fastest lap of the race, and you look at that, just 12 thousandths of a second off the fastest lap is Dominik Pester. Jeffrey Kruger in the silver category holds it, and Stijn Vetens in the bronze. I do feel there is a battle in waiting in this bronze category. They're all within a second of each other, and actually Kurt Van Honecker, since Ryan Blackie spun out a lap ago now, he's really put in the pace here and caught up significantly more to Stijn Vetens. And that will in turn also put pressure on Rob Savage up ahead. What Rob Savage will be hoping for is a little bit of a battle between Van Honecker and Vetens, so that it slows them down and he can stretch away. And he hasn't, I've been made aware, won in NextGen Racing. So this could be a first time win for Rob Savage. Could be for Kurt Van Honecker as well. I can't quite remember if he has won a race in NextGen or not. This is a real intense battle in the bronze category now. And the tighter it gets, the more intense it'll be. You just kind of see the gaps fluctuate a little bit. It gets closer between Savage and Vetens, and then wider between Vetens and Van Honecker, and then the opposite. They're real evenly matched drivers out there right now. Dominik Pester is within 1.5 seconds of Carl Griffiths up ahead on that last lap. He was 6/10 quicker, as you can see from the times. I do feel like Dominik Pester is going to put a challenge in to win this race, and it could well end up being a double win for Pester tonight, which he hasn't had yet this season. He's had 2 wins. He had the feature race at Red Bull Ring. Oh. And he had the sprint race in the opening race of the championship, Fuji. But he's yet to win 2 races in one night. That last race was, of course, his 3rd win of the season. Opening up a little bit between Savage, Veitens and Van Honecker here. Good lap on that last one. Near 2/10 quicker was Savage. Ooh, car on the outside there, just about getting out of the way. I think that was Paul Williams, actually. But a fun fact, actually, about the silver category, we've had 6 races this season so far, and we've had 6 different winners in the silver category. And we could be on our way, actually, to a 7th different winner this season in silver category. That's how insane the silver category is going to be this season. So we've had a sprint race win from Brandon Vincent Squibb. And that was round 1 at Fuji. A feature race win from Alain McKane at Fuji. A sprint race win at Red Bull Ring from Jason Raff. A feature race win from Phil McDougall. An endurance win from Andy White at Spa last time out. And a sprint race win today from Jeffrey Kruger, and maybe a feature race win from Matthew Cheverton. Back to gold category, Dominik Pester is gaining on his teammate and has a healthy lead, or a healthy gap, should we say, to 3rd place, Gabriel Rupp. Gabriel Rupp in only his 2nd race of the season. 2nd race in NextGen, could be on his way to a podium. With a little over 6 minutes to go. There'll be around about 4 laps left in this race. And this is the battle for the overall lead and the category lead in gold. Imola is tricky for overtaking, and the other thing is when in endurance racing the race gets on, it's quite hard to negotiate the traffic. That's the one thing to deal with here, and we're definitely going to be dealing with that at other tracks this season. Thruxton potentially, because it's quite a short track. Maybe Brands Hatch, definitely Laguna Seca. But 2 exciting tracks coming up next for the championship. Thruxton, relatively unknown track to this GT3 crowd. And then Daytona the week after, which is the 2nd endurance round. And Daytona is a classic endurance race. Flash the lights there from Carl Griffiths. I think that's Ryan Blackie. He's trying to signal to get out of the way. I think these two, by what I'm seeing here, seems a bit of a free-to-race kind of attitude here. So let's see what happens. Pester has worked very hard in the last half an hour or so to catch up with Carl Griffiths. It's got around about 3 or 4 laps to make it work. It is close still, also in the bronze category. That's the top 3 in view there. And Rob Savage is doing very well to hang on to the lead and maybe his first win in the bronze category in Next Gen Racing. Just 4 minutes to go. And it could well be 3 different winners in this season. It could well be 2 first-time winners in this race, the way things stand right now. Through the chicane, Carl Griffiths will get nervous about the back markers he's approaching. He'll want to get past them as easy as he can. 3 minutes to go. And just 3/10 between him and his teammate, the championship leader. Will inevitably be championship leader out of tonight. Down the main straight we go, which is arguably not a straight. Almost identical times between the 2 drivers, as they are nose to tail. Pester was right behind Griffiths and got a bit out of shape under braking heading into Tamburello. Then did Dominik Pester, but has kept it in control and close enough still. And there is a battle for 3rd place as well in goal category. Gabrielle Rupp and Harriet Langford are close together now, so they'll fight for final podium honours. We'll just check in silver category. Not too big a gap between Matthew Sheraton and Brandon Vincent Squibb, just around 2 seconds. So if anything bad happens to Matthew Sheraton, Brandon Vincent Squibb could be on the case. Now these 2 drivers will receive the white flag to signal the final lap of the race next time around. I must say, Carl Griffiths driving very well so far. He'll just be focused on hitting his marks, knowing his teammate behind is significantly quick. White flag will wave for them. All leads in this race, all 3 of them are still in contention. Brandon Vincent Squibb is below 2 seconds behind Matthew Sheraton now. And it's still close in the bronze category as well. Back markers up ahead of Carl Griffiths. You'll kind of hope that he doesn't catch him. He's flashing the lights already to say, come on guys. Yep, and that one, I think that's Mark Baker, already moves out of the way. Actually, I think it was Samy Ariba, actually, 4th in the bronze category. Just a few more corners to go for Carl Griffiths. Just 4 corners, really. It'll be the easiest. He's taken those curbs there. And this will be the last opportunity, I would say, for Dominik Pester to get past. He might try and line this up. He doesn't do it. He knows there's a teammate up ahead as well, so you'll want to play it carefully And as they go out of the final corner, will it be a battle to the line? Carl Griffiths is in front. And he is going to do it. A flash of lights there from his teammate to say well done. Carl Griffiths has won his first race in NextGen Racing. He's the winner of the gold category in this feature race. And Dominik Pester, second place. He'll continue to lead the championship heading out of tonight. And taking third place in the end. We'll go back and check on the move when we can. But Harry Langford finishes third place. A very strong night for him. Real good pace, it must be said. And hanging on in the end by just over or even under a second, Matthew Cheverton is going to be our 7th different winner in the silver category this season in as many races. Brandon Vincent Squibb, he'll definitely lead the championship heading out of tonight. 2 second place finishes for him tonight. And back to the bronze category. Well, Rob Savage has stretched away a little bit from Stijn Vatens in the last lap. But Stijn Vatens under a little bit of trouble here from Kurt Van Honecker. He's not too far ahead of him. But Rob Savage could well be on his way to his first time NextGen Racing win in bronze category. Oh, cars on the inside there trying to push each other along. I think that might be Stephen Fry and Nigel Stock. Stock might be out of fuel actually. Rob Savage creeps his way through the corner just to make sure he can get it to the end. He has won the bronze category here at Imola in the feature race. And it's a 1-2 for Mission R. Stijn Vatens in second place and Kurt Van Honecker with third place. What might be his best result of the season. Maybe equaling actually what he did at Fuji. Well done to Rob Savage for his first win in NextGen Racing. So we've had 3 different winners for the season. As the 2 Sorrento Motorsports cars will pick up a big haul of points out of this round. With Dominik Pester winning the opening race of the night. And these two getting a 1-2 in gold category here. And for their Italian livery, for their Italian heritage in their team, quite fitting that they've done this at Imola today. As drivers meet up with the parade. And yes, John, I believe it is 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth different winner in the bronze category as well. Might actually change because Matthias Smolny will move up to silver category, but it's hard to tell at this point. We'll have to go back through the archives to find that out later on. We'll do that before next week. But let's go through the provisional results of this feature race from Imola. Carl Griffiths, with his first win of the season, wins here at Imola, with Dominik Pester in second position and Harry Langford rounding off that podium. Gabriel Rupp nearly getting the podium, but not quite, but still a very good, strong round for him, 4th place. Benji McCluskey, he definitely will feel disappointed with himself from that race, but 5th place, still a good haul of points, and we'll see what he can do next time out at his home track, Thruxton. Jack Pittas, 6th position from Lucas Seedor in 7th. Stephan Wessels, not such a good feature race for him. 8th place with Gavin Gardner in 9th. Jake Payne, 10th. Jamie Dory, 11th from William Guthrie in 12th. Adam Wilson-Weir in 13th. And a lap or more down was Gaz Williams, Harry Hartley-Price and Kieran Davidson. Silver category now, and it's a win for Matthew Cheverton, his first of the season. Brandon Vincent Squibb, 2 second place finishes for him tonight, and he'll lead the championship heading out of tonight. Jeffrey Kruger managed to get third in that race. A little bit of a dramatic race for him, but he got by Wojciech Kurp later on and gets himself a podium to meet what was a good performance from the sprint race as well. A win for him and a third place in this race. Wojciech Kurp 4th, as we mentioned, with Matthew Addy in 5th. Phil McDougall in 6th, and a lap or more down were Mark Baker, Ryan Blackie, Jopi Simmons, Wesley Lewin, Paul Williams, Stephen Fry, Jason Raff, Mike Riedner, Nigel Stock, Alain McKane, Andy White and George Stone. Bronze category now, and it's a first time win for Rob Savage in the bronze category for Mission R Capture Athletics. Stein Vaten's second position, making it a Mission R 1-2 effectively, with Kurt Van Hoeniger in third position, keeping those two drivers honest throughout that race. Samy Ariba in fourth position, followed by Oliver Forsström, who had a good recovery in that race to fifth place in the end. Elwyn Sykes, 6th position from Davide Favo, Mark Sykes in 8th, Stephen de Gravelia in 9th, and 2 laps or more down were Fabien Kozielek in 10th, Zara McGuinness 11th, Dirk Wagner 12th, Matt Gatter 13th, Jonathan Berry, the sprint race winner, DNF in 14th, with also DNFs to Shawnee Clark, Jochen Sieger and Maciej Kazil. We're going to have some interviews very shortly, but the one move that I do want to go back and check is the move for third place in the gold category. We'll see if we can find that now. It was from Harry Langford on Gabriel Rupp. Here's how it got done. This is going through Tamburello. This looks to be heading into Villeneuve, actually, round the outside. We have seen a few moves like this tonight. There you go, round the outside, and it means you've got the inside for the next corner. Oh, Gabriel Rupp trying to fight it back, and the two make contact. Off the track goes Rupp, but Langford's able to get it back through. Okay, so we'll go back to the start of the race, and we'll await some interviews. Okay, so the first driver we are going to talk to tonight is actually going to be our bronze category winner from tonight. First time win in bronze category as well. First time win in NextGen Racing. Rob Savage, welcome to the comms booth to yourself, and congratulations, mate. First of all, tell us how you're feeling on that victory.
I'm very tired.
Oh, hang on, Rob, sorry, we've got the wrong devices on. Oh dear. Rookie error. Give us 2 seconds. Right, you're back. Right, same question.
All over the place, but yeah, I'm happy I finally got a race win.
Yeah, absolutely. It took 2 seasons, I believe, but now you're finally there. Is there a little bit of relief, or do you believe it was always going to happen sooner or later?
No, I don't believe anything like that. I think you've just got to be lucky on the day sometimes. Especially, there's a lot of fast drivers in bronze, and it is manic sometimes. So to get out win, you've got to have a bit of luck on your side as well, to be fair.
Absolutely. And now, how were things in the Mission R camp during that race? You had yourself and Stein Vaten very close to that race. Was there a little bit of teamwork going on?
Yeah, we always talk anyway. If there's somebody faster, we always try to work as a team where we can. A few people were having issues with low frame rate for some reason tonight, and Stein, although he was very quick, he was having a few issues as well. So I don't think he wanted to get too close in case there was an issue. So again, I thank Stein for not pushing if he was having a few technical issues, and sort of took us both. It could have took us both out. So. He was definitely quick enough to beat me, that's for sure, but yeah, a few technical issues went my way tonight.
And I know you've only just come out of the race just then, you've only just won your first race only a matter of minutes ago, but how does this set your reaction, I suppose, for the season ahead? Do you feel like, you know what, maybe I could go for a championship here or there, or challenge for something? Is that where your mind's leading at the moment, or have you just got to kind of settle into the fact that you've won a race at the moment?
We all want to win all the time, don't we, I guess. I think I sort of pride myself more on being consistent than overly fast. I think I can do the consistent lap times over and over again, and again, you've got to be able to finish a race and be consistent to get the wins every now and again. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm not gonna lose my head just off the one win. I've got big shoes to fill with Adam. Clearly, he won 90% of his when he won his championship. So level-headed, we'll go into the next race and we'll go from there.
Fantastic stuff. Now the next race is at Thruxton. I've been saying it all night, not traditionally a GT3 track, but a track that us Brits are very familiar with. So how are you feeling about that track next week?
Yeah, I know the track. I don't even own it yet, so that's going to be interesting. And I'll buy it this week and do a bit of practice and see how we get on. I've got some good mentors around me with the likes of John. Sammy helps. Stein's very quick. Adam is very quick as well. So try and drag some stuff out of those to see if I can get around it, and then we'll go from there.
Fantastic stuff. Now, before you head off, Rob, it's your first time in the comms booth, I think. So give a shout out. Anybody who might be watching the broadcast, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so shout out to the sponsors. Mords, obviously, one of our main sponsors. We've got Capture, and we've got Alien Mods as well. And then a big shout out to the team as well. They've all sort of helped me along the way. And again, a few of them helped me tonight. Sort of turned me along a little bit at times. Ryan sort of pulled me along, and I murdered him in the sprint race where I had my crash. So again, apologies to Ryan, but thanks for not taking me out. And yeah, thanks to yourself in the lead.
No worries at all. Thank you very much, Rob, and well done for your first win tonight. We'll see you next time at Thruxton.
Thanks, mate. Take care.
There we go. Fantastic result for Rob Savage tonight. Good to see him get his first win, and good to see so many different winners this season in bronze category, and especially silver category. And speaking of which, we are going to go to our race winner from the feature race in the silver category. We're going to chat to Matthew Cheverton. Welcome back to the series, Matt, and welcome back to the comms booth. A straight back with a win in the feature race. So just kind of tell us how that race went straight away, mate.
Well, fantastic. Caught everyone napping at the start, and then got to the front by I think lap 5, and then just smooth sailed for about 40 minutes, and then bottom clenching the last 10, watching the relative of Brandon hounding me down. So, but yeah, after a trio of 2 disconnects and a no-show for the first 3 rounds, it's nice to come back straight to the top.
Absolutely, and we'll see what it does to the championship later on. I'm sure we'll be able to get it on broadcast. But towards the end of the race here, it was getting a little bit close between yourself and Brandon. Was that purely down to Brandon's pace, or was there anything that happened in that race that we might have missed?
I think it was purely down to pace. I mean, the guy's clearly quick. From the few moments of races I've done, I've seen that. I mean, we saw it in the sprint today, especially in qualifying. And then I think as well, back markers. I think the common consensus from who I've talked to so far is there was some cause for concern, shall we say. Maybe not getting out of the way as quick as they should. Some were good though. But and then I think at the end I was just playing it safe. It's like, I've got the leverage, I can make it. I'm not going to do anything stupid like I did in the sprint and drop the car on the curb. So yeah, it's just a couple of factors, but I think overall, he's just damn quick.
Now let's talk about silver category for a moment. It's super competitive. It always is competitive, but this season it seems more so than ever. Not sure if you're aware, but there's been 7 different winners in silver category this season in as many races. But your old rival from last season, Jeffrey Kruger, returns. So how are you generally feeling about the competition this season in the silver category? Now you've got Jeffrey back, someone you were super close to in terms of battling last season. How are you feeling confidence-wise about silver category in yourself this season?
Well, first of all, yeah, you're right. It's the silver category this time around is massive. Like, I was obviously starting further down the back for the feature, and we was coming down the hill, and I saw the cars, and I genuinely thought we'd caught up to the goals. There's so many this time compared to last. So, and yeah, if there's been, I haven't really keeping track, but if there's been 7 different winners, then it's clearly wide open, anyone's game. Am I in the hunt? I'm not too sure. Obviously, a bit behind on the points wise, and I don't know if it's catchable or not. I'll have to see. But then I think current situation, our sort of target as a team and as individuals is just not be last in our tables. Hopefully come away at the end of the season with points that was a bit more representative of us as drivers and as a team. So with that sort of mindset, I'm not really thinking about winning the overall championship. I'm just here to just win races, have a bit of fun, and just score as many points as I can. I mean, if that come round 10, if that results in an outside chance, we can do a bit of a current Max Verstappen situation, I'll take it.
Anything's possible, isn't it? So you got a home race next week. You have got 2 of them actually, but Thruxton next week. I've been saying all broadcast long. We just talked to Rob about it, but quite an unfamiliar track with GT3 racing. But how are you feeling about Thruxton next week?
Very, very good. I seem to do really well at Thruxton in a multitude of cars. I mean, I had great success in the touring cars when we went there.
I remember.
And then in other cars, I've, like say, there's weeklies, been Ferrari Challenge, Porsche Cup. Even F4, I've just seemed to have gone well there. In terms of GT3, it's a weird track, extremely fast, extremely scary, I will concede, and quite physical as well. Well, at least for me, got quite high force feedback, so there's a lot of high-speed corners, there's a lot of bumps. It's a very short lap as well. I think about minute 8 I was getting when I was pre-season testing different cars, so it's going to be a lot of laps as well. So although it's not a endurance race as sort of classified by the series, it's going to be an endurance race.
That's good insight. Thanks for letting us know that, Matt. Now, before you head off, the floor is yours. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to who might be watching tonight?
Yeah, obviously shout out to the team and sponsors. Obviously a bit of a downer the first 3 rounds, but now we're back in the swing of things. Obviously to have a teammate here as well doing extremely well, getting good points, again helping the teams, helping us not be last. So yeah, big thanks to all of them, and then thank you to my family watching, because I've just received a text saying well done on my win, so they were watching, so shout out to them as well. Yeah, big thanks to those guys.
Fantastic. Well done, Matt, yet again. We'll see you at Thruxton next time.
Cheers, thank you very much.
There we go, winner of the silver category in the feature race. Now let's switch over to a driver in the gold category. Let's chat to a driver we haven't chatted to yet, actually, in this series, but we've got Gabriel Rupert joins us in the comms booth right now. So first of all, before anything, Gabriel, can you hear us?
I can hear you very well.
Fantastic. Well, welcome along and thank you for joining us in the commentary booth. 4th place in the feature race tonight, Gabriel. I'm sure you were hoping for a podium, but 4th place, still a good result. So how are you feeling after that?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at it both ways, right? I can sit here and be sad and be annoyed that I don't get the P3, but I mean, we have to look at the positives, you know, my 2nd race in the league, and I'm at P4, so I should be happy about it, you know. It's frustrating, you know, to fight for an hour on P3 and losing it on the last lap. It is what it is, you know. I'm happy with P4.
Quite a shame that I imagine I've had races like that as well. It's quite frustrating, but you're certainly putting a mark on this series so far with some good results, with some good battling. But tell us a little bit about the Aston Martin, because I don't think we've actually spoken to any driver who's driven it yet. What's that car like to drive? It's a brand new car to iRacing. Just tell us a little bit of insight of what it is like.
So I can give you a comparison to the cars I've driven yet, like the Mustang, for example, because I drive the Aston. What I noticed, the first thing is I have to brake earlier than I would in other cars, so braking is a bit longer. Turning unders, but it's very good on the exit, and that's what helps it. I've noted it's a fresh car, you know, so I didn't really know what I'm getting into when I signed up with the Aston, and unfortunately it's not really suiting my driving style, but I can get along with it so far.
Okay. So I was going to ask a question, I forgot it now. Yeah, so you've joined the series a little bit late. But what are your targets for the season? What are you hoping to achieve out of this season if it's not championship potential?
The championship would be hard even if I started from the beginning, because here are some really great drivers. You know, being on P3 in this race even showed me that it's. I mean, I could have finished in P3, right? Last lap was hard, but I don't know if you've seen the laps. I was actually slower than the guy behind me. So pace-wise, I would need to improve a lot to have the championship, but so far I'm hoping for a top 10 finish on the championship standings.
We'll look out for that at season end then. But in the season now, at the moment, we've got Thruxton coming up next. British track, not traditionally a GT3 track, but is Thruxton a track you particularly like? How do you feel about it for next week?
I need to do some laps on Thruxton. It's a track I didn't even have on my accounts. I have to use it because it's not a traditional track for GT3 racing. Like, you don't see that. I don't think there were any races on real life with the GT3, so it will be a fun challenge. It's a fast-flowing track, so my left tires will be screaming for help.
Yes, they will.
We will see what it will be.
And even worse if Thruxton is wet. Look out for that. So we'll see.
Please don't.
Yeah, that'll be fun. But Gabriel, thank you very much for joining us in the comms booth tonight. Last question: is there anyone who might be watching the broadcast who you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'm giving a shout out to my team, to WTF Racing, to Robert Borowick that was for the stream, for Chris Phillips that were here. Thank you for the support, and from my friends group from real life as well. They were supporting me, maybe not through the entire race, but they were here, so shout out to them.
Maybe they disappeared as soon as you dropped to 4th place. Maybe, I don't know.
Probably.
Gab, thank you very much, and a big welcome to the series as well. It's good to have you. We'll see you next time at Thruxton.
Thank you very much. See you at Thruxton.
And he races for WTF Racing. I wonder what that stands for. Anyway, let's move on to another interview. Oh, we've got more than 3 interviews tonight. We've got a treat for you. Next, we're going to chat to our Race 2 winner in the gold category. We're going to chat to Carl Griffiths. So, Carl, welcome to the comms booth. First of all, can you hear us?
Yes, all good. Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. Thank you for joining us. Well, your first win in the series, Carl. You've done quite a few rounds so far, and your first win in that one then. Just tell us a little bit about the race, how things went, how you're feeling towards the end when Dominik was catching you, just generally how the race went for you.
Yeah, so at the start I got jumped by the Audi, which was pretty tough to see, but he had quite a bad exit on one of the corners and managed to get the lead back, but it was a really tough race, honestly, managing all the traffic with the bronze and the silver drivers. It was quite chaotic at points. So, and the Dominik at the end, it was honestly quite nerve-wracking. I had 24 out of 25 incidents, so one off track and it was over.
Yeah. We didn't realise it was that close, actually. So I bet you're extremely glad. 1, you didn't get the penalty, and 2, Dominik didn't pass you.
Yes, both of those things. Yeah, quite a needed win to get the season really rolling.
Absolutely. Now, you started off the season quite well. You got a podium in one of the races at Fuji, I seem to remember. You got a win tonight. So, if it's not the championship win you're going for in this season, what are your kind of targets for the season?
I'd like a top 5 and the team's title is what we're really going for.
Fantastic stuff. Well, I think the team might be doing a bit well after tonight, but we'll check on that a little bit later on. But what about things in the Sorrento Motorsports camp? You had a special tribute livery tonight. You all performed very well tonight, and you're doing very well in the championship. How are things in the camp at the moment? They must be pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I mean, Dominik's quite happy. He's doing pretty well. I think it's a 48-point lead after that one, so it's going to take some catching. So myself and Lucas are really just trying to, really just trying to get the season started. Honestly, I think we've definitely underperformed at the first, especially at Spa. To be honest, we came away from that one quite disappointed, but it's nice to have a really good bounce back here in Imola. So,
excellent stuff. Well, what about the next round then? We got Thruxton up next, which is a home circuit kind of for you, and it's not traditionally a GT3 circuit. So how are you feeling heading into that round?
Honestly, terrified. Yeah, I think there's going to be some incidents there for sure.
Let's see. Well, we've heard a lot about Thruxton tonight, and that being one of the more frightened of the opinions. But it's going to be a tough one to survive, especially with traffic, and it's such a short track as well. So and if it rains, which it could well do. So let's find out in a week's time, ladies and gentlemen. But Kyle, winner of the feature race then, big congratulations. Before we head off, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to on the broadcast?
Just the Sorrento Motorsport sponsors, the people that make it possible to go racing and enter events. It's always much appreciated.
Fantastic. Who are those sponsors?
So our sportswear brand is Elite Pro, and the website is dropping tomorrow, so that's going to be a good thing to keep an eye out for. Then we have Atelia KG, which handle all of the renders and all the promotional side of the team. And Nico Liveries, who is Lucas, who provides all of our liveries, which is always much appreciated to run, special liveries for Imola, which is the team's home event. We're in a good spot.
And a cracking livery tonight as well. There we go. Thank you very much, Carl. Well done on the win tonight. We'll see you next time at Thruxton.
Thank you very much, Alex. Have a good night.
You too. There we go. We've got more interviews, ladies and gentlemen. But Carl, let's just say a big congratulations to him and all the race winners that we've spoken to so far tonight. Carl Griffiths, Matthew Cheverton and Rob Savage. We're going to have one more interview because we are running out of time, actually, ladies and gentlemen. But we are going to speak to Adam Wilson-Weir next, because we're going to speak to Adam because it's the first time we've spoken to him this season. But Adam, welcome back to the comms booth, mate. First of all, how are you?
Hi Alex, been a while. I'm all good.
It has been a while, and that's why I've dragged you in here. But Adam, welcome to the gold category. Is it the baptism of fire that it might appear to be when drivers step up to there? But you are doing pretty well in there. You are holding your own a little bit. But just tell us, how is it jumping from bronze up to that category?
I mean, it's a lot of adjustment for sure. I mean, I'm fighting with guys who are quicker than me, so it's trying to scramble to get up to their pace as well. So putting in more hours and stuff, I probably maybe jumped up a bit prematurely, but sure, I mean, it gives me the challenge, and I just have to keep the head down and keep going.
Absolutely, and something I've asked a few drivers tonight, and I'll ask you as well, being that it's your first time in gold category, it must be tough going right from the word go. But what kind of targets have you set yourself this season in gold category?
I'm not so sure now after tonight, but I was hoping for maybe finishing P10. I'd be happy with that.
Well, I don't see any reason why you can't. You were P10 heading into tonight. We'll see how you are after tonight. But just tell us a little bit about how things are in Mission R at the moment. You've got a strong 4-team lineup in this season. So how are things over in camp at the moment?
A bit of mixed emotions after the last couple of races, but it is what it is. So we just try and keep the morale up, and I mean, we have got a really good team. It's just a matter of trying to be consistent, try and avoid like all the little incidents and stuff. I mean, it's just basically ironing things out, because we've got quite a lot of new guys in now, so we're still trying to get used to the way each other races. But we're overall very happy with how the guys are coming along.
Fantastic stuff. Now, we don't have much time left, I'm afraid, and so we're going to have to cut it short. But final question, is there anybody who's watched tonight that you and Mission Heart, I suppose, want to give a shout out to?
I'm going to be honest, I have no idea, Alex, but whoever is watching, thanks for tuning in and supporting the team, and it's always great to have the support in the chat, so thank you.
I set you up so well then as well. Never mind, but thank you very much, Adam. Well done tonight. Appreciate it's hard going up to gold category from bronze, but you're doing a great job. Keep it up, and we'll see you next time at Thruxton.
Yep, we'll see how we get on. Thanks, Alex.
There we go. We were going to chat to John Berry, but he's disappeared now, actually. I was going to surprise him with an interview, but maybe next time. John Berry was our sprint race winner, just to give him another shout out from that. But we are going to cut it there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what we are going to do straight away is go into the championship results, championship standing, shall I say, heading out of tonight and into Thruxton next week. In the gold category, first of all, Dominik Pester has a substantial lead of 48 points. ahead of Stephan Wessels, and bear in mind there are no drop rounds implemented yet, but when they do, think about it this way: Dominik Pester is going to drop 37 points and Stephan Wessels is going to drop 3 points. So Dominik Pester will still have a pretty convincing lead in the championship heading out of tonight, even with drop rounds. Benji McCluskey on 107 points. He's thereabouts, but it's not been such a good start for him, I would say. But third place still a strong position, and he has got plenty of rounds to recover it. Jack Pittas, Mr. Consistent, a good haul of points again tonight. Fourth place for him, with Harry Langford catching up behind. Good set of points for him tonight. Most of the season for him is in 5th position. Brandon Schmidt, 6th position, missed tonight, but still a strong 6th place for him. Gaz Williams in 7th, Lucas Seedor in 8th, Jamie Dory in 9th, and Carl Griffiths with that win jumps up to 10th. Silver category, Brandon Vincent Squibb opens up a pretty big lead in the championship now, and the effective change of silver category for Jeffrey Kruger sees him jump to 2nd in the championship. And if you think Brandon Vincent Squibb will drop 15 points from the championship when drop rounds are implemented, that will put him back down to 123 points, so it's still a pretty good lead for Brandon Vincent Squibb in the championship. Alain McKane, not such a good round yet again for him, but still holds 3rd in the championship heading out of tonight. Nigel Stock, not such a good night for him, but still holds 4th in the championship, and similar with Jason Raff, 5th in the championship. Stephen Fry, quiet night for him, but 6th position in the championship, and Phil McDougall, quite a good night for him, up to 7th place he'll go. Matthew Addy in 8th place, followed by Andy White, and Wesley Lewin in 10th. Matthew Cheverton, who was the winner in the feature race, is in 12th place at the moment, with no points from rounds 2 and 3, has a lot of catching up to do at this point. Bronze category, and despite the difficult night, Oliver Forsström will still lead the championship heading out of tonight, but Samy Ariba will close in a few points and will be 2nd place heading out of tonight. Rob Savage jumps up to 3rd place in the championship with his win in the feature race tonight, and the highest haul of points in the bronze category. Stein Vaten's 4th position, with Zara McGuinness a low scoring round, but still in the top 5. Stephen de Gravelia, 6th position from Elwyn Sykes. Davide Favo in 8th position, who had his best night of the season so far. Dirk Wagner in 9th, and Jochen Sigert 10th. And the team's championship. Not as I predicted, but it's CSA Team Woza who are top of the standings in the teams, have jumped up a huge amount of places actually in that round, with Jeffrey Kruger scoring the majority of the points for them tonight. 1st place for them heading out of tonight, with Quatermass Motorsport in 2nd position, Sorrento Motorsports in 3rd position, Missionar in 4th, and Crest Autosport Porsche in 5th. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's been round 4 here at Imola. Up next, as we mentioned, is Thruxton. The non-traditional circuit, the wildcard circuit on the calendar is next. The shortest track on the calendar and one of the fastest tracks in the UK is up next. In Hampshire, join us in 1 week from today for that round, live on NextGen Racing on YouTube and Facebook. This has been, as we mentioned, NextGen Racing, the GT3 Season 8. Please scan the QR code to the off-center of our screen right here, and that will give you access to NextGen Racing's Discord server if you wish to get involved in this racing in future rounds, or if you wish to get involved in any other series we're hosting. And of course, you can just keep an eye on the communications between the drivers, between the admins, and all the announcements that NextGen Racing have. And if the QR code doesn't work for you, or you can't scan it, there is a link in the description of this video if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. And lastly, just a big shout out to our partners, sponsors and affiliates here at NextGen Racing that include PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, Falconer PC, and Doble Motorcycles. I've been Alex Everett on behalf of Crest Autosport and NextGen Racing. You have been watching NextGen Racing Round 4 of the